right, hello and welcome. Sunday Speedrunner Spotlight back at it again for the 55th time or however many it has been. I don't know. Numbers are hard,
They are.
especially when they grow ever larger and you can't keep up with it. But we're here, so that's what's important. Welcome to the show, Phillie. Hello.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
No problem. I enjoy the conversations in speedrunning. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Same here. It's been a fun hobby for about probably 7 years, going on 7 years for how long I've
mm,
been actually doing speedrunning, but watching probably 10 plus.
think you started just right before me then. Except when I started, it was like the same time as when I started watching. I don't know why I just never found out about it until when I did. Took too long, but oh well. We made it in the end, so that's all that matters.
That's it. Exactly.
But yeah, speaking of starting off, I think that's a good place to start off. So,
Yeah. So I guess my first main speed game for anyone who doesn't know me is Super Mario Odyssey. I still dabble with Odyssey. Absolutely love it. I graduated from college and all I really watched during that time beforehand was Sunshine and some Galaxy here and there. Um and then, I was like, "Oh, that seems fun." Graduated, was struggling to find a job. I was working a little freelance work and I decided to basically use most money that I had left in my bank account to buy a Switch and a capture card. And I'm like, sure,
priorities, yeah.
yeah. Definitely would not recommend. Fortunately, it worked out in the end and it was like the best investment I ever made. But I would not, looking back, it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But
No,
I
well,
guess I believed in myself enough.
yeah. I mean, Switch is important than
Yeah, I mean the Switch is great.
life, yeah. So it's fine.
It's it's almost as old as I am speed. Well, no, it's older than I am speedrunning. Happy birthday, Switch, on the day we're recording this.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I think someone was saying that. I think it's the 7-year anniversary. So it's crazy.
Really? Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, that.
Where's the Switch 2? Come on, bring it out.
Well, we'll see
The only
when they.
reason I'm excited for a Switch 2 is because I know that there has to be a Mario, like the next mainline Mario has to be a launch title. It has to be. I'm convinced. And I'm eager for a new game to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while since like a 3D main series new thing.
Yeah, closest we had was Bowser's Fury, which I did dabble with. But once you got to a certain point with that game, it just became too much. It was too many cycles and
Mm-hmm.
like too many time-based cycles, and it just got boring. And then I always recognized that whenever I would vector jump, and I'd look at like the record holder at the time, and like I think it may have been Fur and like CMFP, and uh, I, I apologize to whoever current record holder is. I'm unaware, but whenever I'd watch them do like their vector hops, they would gain so much more speed than me. And I'm just like, I do not understand how you are getting to this point. I am. And then I would go and ask, and they're like, oh, you just jump left and right. I'm like, I am. I'm doing that. My
Vector
Mario just
better.
doesn't want to be as fast as yours.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my dirty secret is I still haven't played Bowser's Fury, and I've had 3D World since I played 3D World like day one when it released on Switch. I had it on Wii U, but I got rid of that, thank God. But
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I keep the Wii U for Galaxy 2. That's it.
fair enough. I mean,
Oh
you
man, but
still
you haven't
need it.
played Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, I've never played it.
It's a
I've
fun
just
it's
had
a
it.
it's a really fun and good casual experience. I will say that. As a speedrun, it obviously yeah, but I
Mm,
enjoyed when I first like 100% of it. Like, it felt a little fresh. Its movement was a little different. I would hope that they do not pursue that movement though in the next installment of the Mario franchise. I'm not sure if that may have been
mm,
like a little sandbox or like a little beta test, but I'm hoping that does not convey over because Odyssey had really good movement, obviously, and going from that to if we went to like Bowser's Fury movement would just be upsetting. And I
mm.
also don't want to sit here and cope that I just can't vector.
Fair enough. I've heard it's like a combination somewhere in the middle between like Odyssey and 3D Worlds movement. I don't know how close it is to
Yeah, I would say
exactly either or, but
yeah, it's pretty. I'd say it's pretty accurate because in 3D World you can vector and you can
mhm.
like do all those hops there too. I always liked going on the I forget which level it is specifically, but there's this one that just has like this giant open field of just like
Oh yeah,
going. Yeah,
World
and that one's
5
always just
something.
fun to yeah, to vector hop on and just like practice gaining speed. That's always just a fun level. To
Yeah.
see how fast you can go. That and like the any ice level where you can do the crouch boosting.
Oh my. Yeah, I just saw they just had a new like, Odyssey has it a lot too. It's the best theoretical time or whatever, where they
Mhm.
take all those segments. One just came out for 3D World and I saw
Yeah, it was for the
it.
380, right?
Yeah, and just
Yeah, yeah, I saw some of that, and
there he
every time I was
goes.
watching, I was like, "Whew."
There he goes.
I
It's crazy the
I
speed.
I think one of the most incredible things I saw from that was the levels where there's all the, exclamation block squares that you have to, like, activate,
Mhm.
and just how smoothly they just activate. It's like they just, like, took a pencil and it's just like, "Alright, boom, done." When on a controller, I have tried that, it does not work that smoothly. So, like,
Mhm.
GG's to whoever figured out just the art that goes
Yeah,
into it. Bob Ross in it.
yeah. The secret, at least in what I've heard from the best theoretical time video, that specifically, not obviously not real time runs, but the secret is have a brother to tap it for you.
Oh my
So,
gosh. That's actually big brain. But then
mhm.
is it a multiplayer run? Is it
Yeah, no, like this wouldn't be allowed for the leaderboard, but for like showing what's
uh,
possible, I guess it was fine. But yeah, that was the secret. It's
man.
interesting information.
Man, so if you're an only child, you're like, "Man, I can't
Yeah,
beat TT, it's over.
yeah,
My dreams are already crushed."
yeah. The video wouldn't be as optimal if the best player didn't have a sibling, I guess. So funny to think about.
"Mom, dad, I need a player too."
Oh, that'd be funny if that's how it went. But
Get
yeah.
the feed out. Oh my gosh.
Well, anyway, that's how 3D World went.
Yeah, yeah, the good old 3D world.
I love 3D World. Again, like I played it a ton when it came out, both on Wii U and Switch again. It was one of my more favorite games. But yeah, just never clicked the other game in the Switch version. I don't know.
I 100% of the game on both Wii U and Switch as well, and
Mhm.
I have to say the addition of the dive mechanic in the Switch version, incredible. It made
That
it
was an addition? Oh.
I'm, like, almost certain. Could you dive beforehand? There was something I
I don't
thought.
remember. I just know what you're talking about, the dive.
Yeah.
So I
I
was like,
think
oh,
I
is that
wanna
not?
say that was added, but
Okay.
I
Hmm.
guess if I am wrong, then everyone will let me know.
Yeah,
But I wanna
that's fair. But hey, it'd be interesting information to learn for me if true, I guess. Yeah, I don't know all of the changes they made. I know like the Wii U version's still optimal because some things were fixed here and there, but
No.
yeah.
That's always oh, like, there was an out of bounds, like, map warp, wasn't there? In the
Yeah,
Wii U version?
I don't know if that was fixed or not, but yeah, in the any percent run when you get to the Bowser level, which is like super high up in the air, you can get on a pipe and fall all the way down to like this giant mystery box house in World 4. And
Oh,
then
okay.
it's just like
'Cause
a
why
big
wouldn't you?
route time save. Yeah. It's actually like faster. Like they wanted it in and it happened to work out, so it's great because it's such a absurd out of bounds.
That's always crazy to me, just, like, how people find the overworld glitches, and we were talking about this before,
Mhm.
uh, with, even the newest installment with Mario Wonder. It's just how do you get to a point where you figure out overworld glitches? Like, I mean, like it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep running against this wall or whatever, and especially in 3D world because that's literally just bordered walls. So you're just like, okay, how do we? Just keep walking up here. Oh, there we go. Finally figured it out. Where there's little to no mechanics in the overworld besides like I think you can jump, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
that's what broke it, being able to
Yeah,
jump.
it's just wild.
Yeah,
Glitch hunters always impress me because it feels like the literal bash your head into a wall and then eventually you'll like break through. But I cannot. I, I'm good. I'll
you,
leave that to the professionals.
you can't handle that kind of brain damage.
Yeah, it's just too much. I wouldn't even know where to start. Like there are some
Hmm.
times where like I'll look at things, even in Odyssey, where it's like, oh, is that is this angled enough where if I ground pound on it and then do a roll cancel, will I be able to actually clip through? Or am I just wasting my own time here by trying to figure out to see if this is real? Like
Yeah,
the
you
amount of
almost
times I've
want to
probably
like,
spent just at walls, like, this would save time.
yeah, you want to like have some viewer that would tell you like, hey, this angle works or doesn't.
Yeah.
It.
'Cause, like, the last thing you wanna do is be doing that for, like, a day and then finding out you can't do it there for whatever reason. Or you do it and you're like, "Oh, okay, it can't be done," then, like, a year later, someone else does it, like, the same exact spot you were looking, and it's like,
Mm,
"Oh, I just sucked, got it."
yeah, a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, so now I don't get the credit, and I've just embarrassed myself because I was there first.
Yeah. Something funny about 3D World, at least from what I thought I heard, was like, I don't know if it was the skip we were talking about in the overworld, but some people would find these things and were like trying to figure out how to do it over Miiverse, like with the little image, like drawing it in the Miiverse and sharing it there.
Oh my god. That's
That's just
actually
fun
incredible.
information. Yeah.
Just like play by play, just step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Continued on note 2.
Yeah,
Oh my
I never used the Miiverse too much, but I can imagine that's not the most convenient way to share your information, but
no, but hey,
I'm
if you didn't
sure
know about
it sure is an
Discord and
interesting way.
that's so good. Oh my
Definitely a
gosh, it just
product
makes
of
me
that time. Just no other era would have allowed Miiverse. I don't know.
Did you ever use PictoChat back in the day?
I don't know if I used it legitimately. I definitely like visited the application, but
Okay. Like, so I don't know, there would be sometimes, like, with me and my friend, like, when we'd have, like, a sleepover or something, it'd be like, he at my one friend's place, he would have, like, he'd have, like, a bunk bed setup. So, like, we'd just both take out our DSs and we'd open up PictoChat and just start sending each other just the most random shit. It's
that's
so
what it
I
was
don't know.
for.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't know, that era is just so revolutionary, and it's so fun to think back to, and, I mean, like, it kinda sucks that we don't have, like, a dedicated handheld console. I don't think my wrist can really take it anymore anyway,
Mm,
but, like, the Switch having the hybrid is I love it. It's just paying for one console, and, you get the best of both worlds, and I can play my main line. Like, I think I did an Odyssey speedrun on a plane before, like, when going to GDQ, because 'cause I'm just like, "Eh, screw it, like, why not?" And, yes, there's input lag, especially, it wasn't the most ideal setting, but, it's just cool that I could do that. I can't re and then now there's, like, the Steam Deck, so we keep pushing.
hmm. Does input lag in handheld mode?
So, it's if you're using a pro controller, really. Like,
Oh, okay.
there's some, like, sort of disconnect, especially just, like, depending on your, um like, the setting. We've done runs before where I think it was at AGDQ 2020, we were doing a large Talkatoo race with, like, 10 of us in a room, and 10 Pro Cons and 10 undocked Switches. No. It
Hmm,
d the amount of eaten inputs because of just all, like, the signals, and I'm guessing
really?
there's something in the technology crossing why yeah, I have no idea, but it was a fucking mess. The amount of times where it's like
Yeah,
someone would put in the input and it's like, "Hmm, I'm
I
trying
guess
to do
that's
a
the
roll
problem
cancel."
with wireless is you're banking on the connection to be stable. So,
Yeah. I mean, like, when I'm in handheld mode, it's fine. Like, I do know that some people like we complain about input drops all the time in Odyssey
Mhm.
because they do happen. Um, so some people are just like, okay, well, how many Bluetooth devices do you have around your Switch? And I know, I believe Dangers like would turn off Bluetooth on his phone
Hmm.
to try to like improve the connection ability too, because and when he did it, he did notice some results. Now, whether that was just like a placebo or not, who knows? But I'm sure it actually does affect it to some degree.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
crazy
that
to
is
think about.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm so used to older stuff where it's all wired, so I don't know what it's like.
That's true.
Our input drops, although rare, come from like controllers getting dirty and stuff, and you got to clean it out,
Oh,
replace
okay, so
the
like it's just
internal
something would like
components.
stop the button from being pushed fully and from it
Yeah,
registering.
I've had it where so like the NES for example, it has these rubber things where
Okay.
that's what gets pushed down and activates, and I've had it where it's like ripped off inside the controller
Oh.
multiple times.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's not convenient.
that makes it a little hard. So
How many controllers have you gone through?
not
Like,
not many. Well, controllers barely any because what's nice about it is you can open it up and replace those components frequently, and that usually solves the issue. But yeah, the
and
rubber pads just wear out.
I envy you. Pro
Yeah,
cons do not.
yeah. Well, you have to suffer like the whole drift thing too. So,
Yeah, yeah, stick drift is definitely a bit of a bitch. Like I know they always talk about, oh well, we're not using the controllers as like intended,
hmm
but there's also my argument of yeah, we put a lot more hours on these controllers than like the casual gamer would like within a short period of time.
hmm
But spin pounding, which is probably one of the biggest components to stick drift, would be my guess since it's more intensive. It is a mechanic in the game. They want you to spin. Like
hmm
it's there, so if I'm not supposed to do it a lot, that or I don't know. Like, it's just frustrating to definitely be like, "All right," and then you try cleaning it, you pray that that works, and then if it doesn't, you're like, "All right, shit out of luck." Like, I do have my, Tears of the Kingdom Pro Controller that I will only use for casual gaming because I do not want that one to get stick drift anytime soon.
Yep. Um, I remember now this broke in a different way, but one of my like, there's the left and the right. I don't remember which one, but one of them like the stick popped off. So I just couldn't use it. So I just used my
Oh,
pro controller, you know, forever. Um, but one time I was like, I was going to some event. I was like, I really want to play my Switch, but my Joy-Con's broken. I guess I'll just buy a new pair. They're still like $80. Why?
they re yeah, I don't know. I like the thing that annoys me is that they're gonna do that because there's a lot of advanced technology in these things.
hmm
Like, if you've ever played 1-2 Switch or anything like that, it's kinda cool because it's like, "Oh, tilt it," and it has, like, the haptic feedback or whatever where it's like, "How many marbles are in here?"
hmm
And you're like, "Oh, wow, like, I can feel, like, 4 clicking." But no one ever utilizes it. It's the same
No,
thing with
yeah,
the PlayStation 5. The triggers and, like, all that stuff, so cool. Like, Astro's Playroom, sick ad it's like, sick adventure. Then no one uses it. So it's like, why are we putting so much into these controllers if just no one's if, like, no developers are actually gonna utilize it?
yeah,
Like, it's fine. We can keep it more simplistic. It's like, it's a cool thing to have for a couple things, but, I don't know, make a controller make that like a separate controller for those situations, and then if people really want that experience, let them buy it.
yeah.
I don't know. If we're gonna make these controllers like that souped up by default, but no one's gonna use it, then let's just not. Let's
hmm
make it a little more
Yeah.
accessible to the average gamer.
But yeah, I only like replaced the Joy-Cons once, so I can't imagine someone that like goes through them frequently having to dish out that money every time. And then like if you just want one, it's still like 60 or something stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, no,
it's
it's
wild.
it's yeah, no, if you're gonna buy, you might as well just buy the pair, but it
Mhm.
it is not fun. It's not fun to go through. I mean, even my old Switch, so I ended up, like, buying an OLED,
Mhm.
um, because I just ended up, like, modding my old Switch because why not? But it was
Yeah.
getting to a point where every time I would boot it up, there was, like, a 90% chance of it just being like SD card can't be read. Like
Hmm.
take out, reinsert, reboot. I'm like, Is this the only thing I can do?" Like, it's getting really annoying to every time undock it, open it's and then, like, I would start hearing, like, the fan on that thing too, like, even if I cleaned it, I would just hear this thing getting, like, so hot and heating up. I'm just like, "Okay, I think it might just be time." Like, it's
Mhm.
6 years. It's done well for me, but I'd rather just keep it up as, like, for practice files for Odyssey and all that stuff at this point.
Yeah, my Switch is still. I got it in 2017. I don't really use it that much. Actually, since you were talking about like handhelds, I use my 3DS all the time. Still, not the
Okay. Do you have an
Switch.
XL?
Yeah, I bought like a year ago. I bought a 3DS, new 3DS XL off of
Nice.
another runner. No, it's so nice.
Yeah, because I
Love that
bought
thing.
the original 3DS, and I would play a shit ton of Mario Kart on it, but then
Mm,
I realized, "Holy fuck," like, that's where I first started thinking maybe I have, like, some level of, like, arthritis or carpal tunnel, was playing that game a lot, because as soon as I would let go of the A button for driving, I would just, like, notice a sharp pain in my wrist. I'm like, "Hmm,
mm.
don't think that should be happening."
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I definitely grew up. I grew up with the 3DS as well, just the normal one. Whatever.
Yeah, thing was tiny,
Oh yeah,
like, when you look at it now.
when you get the XL, it's like, oh, I see.
Still better than the 2DS though.
Hmm.
Whatever they were going for with that. No,
I, the 2DS is a wild thing to exist.
it'll never make sense to me. You could just turn off the 3D. Like,
Yeah, like
but also, oh god.
I mean, I guess just because it's so cheap in comparison, but like the original, and they made like a newer model that folds, but the original just didn't fold, so it wasn't portable.
Yeah, no,
It's
yeah,
so
exactly. It was
stupid.
just yeah. It's like, hey, do you want like a phone, but like an inconveniently shaped phone that won't really fit in your pocket too well? But hey, you can play games on it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, wild design choice, but
Uh,
I don't know.
I noticed that so Jay mentioned the Amiibo reader, which is a classic feature. Um, can be used on a few games like Odyssey. You
Hmm.
can use it for like finding purple coins or like an extra life up heart, things like that. Do you have any Amiibo? Are
No.
you no? Neither do I.
Yeah, like usually it's not like just unnecessary. I have no reason for it. And on my 3DS, I have like an Amiibo spoofer, so it doesn't
Oh,
even
okay.
matter.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not like a huge collector. The only thing that I've really started collecting recently would probably be like Funko Pops of like Dragon Ball, because
Mm.
very very fond of Dragon Ball.
My brother's a
Um,
huge Funko Pop collector. I don't get it. I think it's for like resale later, maybe. I don't know the deal, but
yeah, I know some people that do that because if you do understand the market, like I guess there is like the this will be super rare and expensive as fuck later down the line, and you could probably turn it and like flip it for a good profit. But I just look for the cheaper Dragon Ball ones, and I'm just trying to get like one of each character, and then hopefully one day just have like a cool little like set in a glass case or something. And be like,
mhm.
yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me than other collecting I mentalities, I guess. I don't know. I
I
never
don't know.
done that
Like
before.
I've seen the Funko Pop rooms where people have like walls
Oh.
built up of these boxes, and I'm just like, oh, like that's awesome that you found something you love, but I'm just picturing like myself in that situation. I'm like, I could
Mm.
not.
Yeah,
But
I
like
just
then
don't get
again, I
it,
play
but
a
like
children's video game over and over again,
yeah.
like for thousands of hours. So that's probably something that they wouldn't do.
Yeah,
So
you know
I
what?
like I'm
That's
not here to
fair.
judge anyone.
Yeah. That's definitely fair. Oh well. But yeah, Switch. Yeah. So I said I got mine like super early, so I know mine's super moddable, but to this day, still haven't done it.
I
I'm
mean,
too scared.
that's fair. I once I learned that it's really easy to avoid getting like banned. Like you
Yeah.
have to really fuck up to get banned.
All
I was like,
right.
all right, screw it. Like I want to get better at Odyssey, and the practice mod is always being worked on and like developed, and it's a really good spot now. I'd say like the recent addition of the mod is just ooh. Mm.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I know
good when there's
like
good
that was like the
practice
one thing with
tools.
SM64, right? That was
Oh
always like
yeah,
the like that practice
that's
mod,
got a great
incredible.
one. Yep.
Yeah, and now I'd say this Odyssey one's pretty on par with that, which is nice. I just wish that we had a, practice mod for Sunshine on 3D All Stars version because
Mm.
I don't I don't really play it on the Wii due to I did one day of, like, back-to-back 120 shine runs, and I could not hold a controller for the next, like, 2 or 3 days because,
Mm.
once again, going back to the wrist issues, spam spraying on a GameCube controller, too much.
Yeah, I don't
But,
know
like,
much
spam
about
spraying on a
Sunshine, so
Procon, fine. So,
I see.
I don't know. It's all about finding the solutions.
Hmm. Yeah,
Unfor
you always
Fortunately,
need
Nintendo
what's
gave me one.
yeah, you always need what's most comfortable because like actual destroying of the hands is a occurrence that can happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, I used to, before 3D All-Stars, and I was like, "I still wanna run Sunshine." I went to the store and I bought one of those, wrist braces, like, one of those
Mm.
compression. I'm like, it feels weird because, like, there's a giant, like, metal bar, like, splint there,
Oh,
and
really?
so you're dealing with that while holding a controller. So, like, it's a weird adjustment,
Hmm.
but it at least helped. And I'm like, "That's still more important. I'll take it feeling weird to hold a controller rather than the wrist pain that comes with it."
Yeah,
So,
that's a good trade-off, I think.
yeah. Long-term health. I mean, it's the same reason, like, why I moved on from a racing chair to an ergonomic chair, right?
Hmm.
Like, you get to a point you're like, "It shouldn't hurt to stand up after a long stream." My
Yeah.
my tailbone should not be in this much pain. I should not be, like, wincing just walking away after
Mhm.
after a, like, 4-hour run.
Yeah. I I've been trying more and more to do like the hand stretches before doing any long-term stuff,
Yeah.
but
Oh, man, that's one thing yeah, I even go to the gym, and I just always forget to stretch unless it's on days where, like, I feel it more.
mhm.
And then those days where I'm like, "Ooh, there's something a little tight there. I should probably go stretch." Then I'll actually remember, but I know it's a good habit to actually just do it every time. But
Mhm. I mean, I don't do it when I use the computer. It's usually when I'm just before I like do a stream, like speedrun attempt thing. But
okay.
sometimes I'm like doing work on the computer. I'm like, oh shit. So maybe I should just do it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. I mean, have you ever seen those, really crazy ergonomic keyboards and, like, mice?
Um, maybe it,
Oh, man,
I'm
they
not
are
recalling it.
that I don't know, like, they are pretty crazy. Like, the keyboard's one thing, and, like, I can kinda see it, but, like, the mouse is, like, more vertical.
Mm.
It's like,
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
how do I go about that? How do I use that?
I don't know, but
It's a
I'm
fun
sure
time.
it.
Also, I'm not taking a dig at you because I noticed you're in a racing chair. That just wasn't for
Mm.
me.
Oh
I wanna be clear
yeah.
here. That's
Hey,
just how my body
that's fair. Um, yeah, this has been good to me, but it doesn't mean it's good for everyone. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
matter.
I gave mine to my sister, and I was like, "Hopefully it doesn't like, hopefully your body reacts to it better than mine did."
Yeah, if
Like
I ever suddenly have an issue, that's one thing. But so far, so good. So
yeah.
we make it work. But
I also love the red and black combo. That's my favorite color combination.
that's good.
Red is my favorite, and then red and black, ooh. Mm,
Yeah. They had a blue variant that I think would have been nicer, but this was cheaper, and obviously that's always going to be what the
yeah.
driving force of the decision. So
Yeah, unless, like, you have, like, a stream, like, a complete stream theme that is all dedicated to blue.
yeah,
That's like, alright.
I don't have that amount of dedication. So
That's
we'll
fair.
take what we can get.
I mean, look at me, I'm fucking streaming in the basement, so
I'm in my basement. I got
well, I'm
all.
in my parents' basement
I'm in
because
my parents'
I'm
basement.
oh my god!
We're the same,
Holy shit.
bro. I
I
could tell.
finally found another.
Yeah, I could show you where my. I have an exercise bike right there, just off camera. There's a hole in my wall right there. Like I'm in the basement, man.
The amount of times, I mean, at some point, like this stream background that you see here, this mess of a background is gonna be gone because my parents are getting to the point where they keep telling me that I have to like move this desk and like turn it around because everyone feels too awkward like with the camera, and I'm like, the way I have it cropped on stream, you're not gonna be seen. Like you have to
Hmm.
really come out, and they're like, no, we don't feel comfortable. So
I
at
get
some
it
point,
though.
I'm gonna have to
So,
move this whole desk to like rotate it around and then just have like this wall behind me, which I'm fine with. Besides the fact of moving this desk and everything,
yeah, you could at
like
least deck out the background, I guess, a little bit.
I could throw up a Bluey poster.
There you
that
go.
that that
You
people gave me at GDQ after the run.
could move the McQueen.
No, McQueen can't move, unfortunately, and
Oh,
that's my mom's. But
I see.
hey, we always love a good ka moment.
Sure.
It really motivates to work out and just stare into the eyes of a champion.
You know, that might be the strat.
Yeah.
Maybe I should look into a similar thing. Maybe it'll help my motivation.
There you go. Find someone that you're really just like, wow, that's a winner. I'm trying to think of like some other goofy character.
Find someone that
Uh,
looks at you the same way.
yeah, just get like a
Oh,
nice little Sonic.
oh. I do have a I do have a poster. It's just like in storage, but I got it from one of the like when the movies came out. I think the one a couple years ago. They were just handing them out for free, and I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, hey, we always like a poster.
Yeah. Um, I only have just one metal one hung up. It's just Mario 1 box art. That's my extent
Oh,
of the
that's sick
poster
though.
having.
That's
Maybe I
cool.
should have used it to cover that hole in the wall. That would have been smarter.
Yeah, why? Okay, okay, wait, yeah, okay. This is why is there a hole in the wall?
Uh,
What happened? Was it like a golf club,
oh no.
punching, kicking?
It was a fist.
Okay. Was it gamer rage incident?
I mean, this was a while ago, but nah, it wasn't. It
Oh, okay.
was it was an annoyance at a electrical issue, but it wasn't.
Oh.
Yes,
Hmm. Fun. Well,
but yeah,
at least where it was punched, there were no studs or support.
support right in between them. Got lucky. Let's go. But yeah,
Yeah, that would have not been fun.
no, no, I'm not exactly proud of that. That's why I crop it out. It's not there.
Ah, hey, that's. I mean, hey, like as you said, it was a while ago,
Oh
and
yeah, the things have changed since.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I think this was when in like 2018, I played a lot of Fortnite. Where's
Mm.
oh yeah, so this headset is cracked, and the
Ah,
reason that it's cracked right here is I was playing trios with my friends, and I had gotten downed and then thirsted, and then they went on to win. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, why does that matter if you won? I was pissed because like they were making it like, oh, we don't need you, like. But I was like, I'm the best motherfucker on this out of us three. And so when they won, I was like, oh fuck this. I
fair
got
enough.
mad for like no reason. And I'm just like, ooh. I guess the second I did it, I was like, I've never had gamer rage, and it's weird that the first thing that made me have gamer rage was like my team winning.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was years ago. It's never nothing like that's ever happened since.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I definitely had
it's still
some
weird.
issues in the past, but it's been so long.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
sometimes
No,
you're
whenever
just
I see
a
it, I always
cringy
just
child.
yeah. No, I mean that's fair. You're passionate about something, and like
Yeah, true.
whether or not it's just about ultimately recognizing at that time, like, hey, wasn't the move, and then what can I do in the future to avoid that happening? And I think just since I've tried to take things less seriously,
Hmm.
I mean, I'm fucking playing hentai golf for Christ's sake, like
What?
I'm world record holder in all holes and bitches percent. Uh,
What?
it's been
Um.
yeah, no,
Okay.
it's yeah, hentai golf. It's not stream inappropriate. so that's good. I didn't get banned off Twitch. It's not like there's nudity. But yeah, no, I do. I was paid by chat to start playing it, and
Mm,
then it's kind of like almost a shitty mobile golf game in a sense. And to me, it's just the most mind-numbing thing to just play golf because you literally only see the ball, the trajectory, and like what club you're using.
mm.
So it's not like there's someone next to the ball the whole time. So you're just always just like tap, shoot power, like aim, adjust for wind, whatever. And it's just I don't know, the sounds are satisfying. You just throw on some like lo-fi in the background. It's just relaxing. I think one time I was like, short stream, and then someone was like, "Hey Philly," I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You've been playing this game for like 6 hours." I'm like, "Oh, it has been 6 hours. It's a 20-minute run."
Short stream.
Yeah, just it was all hentai golf. As
Where's
crazy
the
as that sounds.
where's the hentai coming?
So there are like the golfer girls, I guess, which are like
Okay.
the hentai models. But I mean, it's like after like the fifth hole in each one, they're in lingerie, but like you skip through it anyway. So like I don't see it because I don't really care about that. But people love to meme with me and tell me that that's all I care about. So
No, yeah, of course. Is this like a Switch thing? I know the Switch has like run rampant with that kind of shit.
yeah, it's
Yeah, okay.
absolutely switch. Someone the reason why it was like a 20 something dollar game, but it was on sale for like $3, and they
Okay.
made Lucid buy it, and then they came to my stream like, "You have to play it." I'm like,
I
"No."
see.
And then they gave me like 500 bits and like, "Buy it." I was like, "No." And they're like, "Wow." I'm like, "Fine." So then I did, and then yeah, I don't know. The game was just satisfying.
You charge $20 for that garbage? Come on.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I see. I mean, the thing is, it's always on sale. I haven't seen it not on
Oh,
sale,
well,
so
yeah.
it feels like one of those.
I wonder why.
It's one of those like Black Friday specials, but like right before Black Friday, we raised the price anyway, so now it's back to normal price.
Black Friday every Friday.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. That game's just it's stupid. I mean, when you look at my speedrunning repertoire, it's really you have all the 3D Mario game like mainline 3D Mario games. Then you have like at one point there was like a little Hello Kitty Cruisers phase that I originally did as a an incentive for a charity stream. Um and then you have Bluey, which was run at GDQ, and that was probably like the highlight of my streaming career, and then now hentai golf. So it's like I don't know. There's always just something weird going on in my running history.
All ages.
Yeah, it's and I was just saying, like someone's gonna randomly come across the Bluey run from GDQ like on YouTube and be like, "Oh shit, this guy looks really cool," and really wholesome. And then they come over to my stream and it's like, "Was he hentai golf? What?" So I don't know. I remember for a bit though, after the Bluey GDQ run, I had on like every stream for like a week, just the pinned message. We are a wholesome community, but we are shitters here, and there is cursing.
Mhm.
Just a heads up for anyone coming from the Bluey stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Trying to be responsible because I know that would lead to like a lot of kids or like parents and kids like so just trying to put it out there. I used to be family friendly. I had
Mm,
5 years of family friendly streaming, and then I just couldn't. It just wasn't me.
mm. 5 years
Yeah.
is a lot.
Hmm. It started off because I mean the first two streamers I really watched religiously were Fire Dragon and Raise Fire, and both of them like were always family friendly, and I kind of developed the shared philosophy of well, if people like cursing and you don't curse, they're not going to leave. But if people don't like cursing and you do curse, they are going to leave.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh man, they open, but no, I feel like streaming was even more exhausting those 5 years because of just actively thinking what I'm gonna say next and making sure that because off stream like I cursed, I didn't care, but on stream I had to be like, don't be like that. Like, do not say that. fuck, you're gonna say it. Shit, you just said it. Like, you know, like
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be able to do it. Um,
nah.
it's hard enough at like GDQ and stuff. I
Well,
still remember I
that's what honestly
almost
why
did
I
it, and
like
I was
those.
like, "Oh God, I almost got canceled from GDQ."
I mean, that's why I do look back at those years fondly. Like, obviously, it was a big start for me anyway, and like a lot, I had good success while being family friendly. But it has allowed me to feel so confident that whenever I get into these events, that I'm like, if I need to turn off the cursing, I am absolutely capable of it.
Hmm.
Like, I still worry that sometimes I'll naturally say it now that like I don't give a shit anymore. But overall, I feel a little more confident.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
hey,
that's good.
also going back to hentai golf, I will say now whether or not it is accepted, that's one thing. But I did submit it to Pace, so here's hoping. It gets
Oh,
yeah.
well,
I, they asked for the description. I just said booba golf. So surely
well, if
Milo's gonna
that's
accept
not
that.
enticing, I don't know what is. So.
Right? That's I don't know what else I could have put to convince them like that this should be a Pace. Good old 20-minute speed.
Well, as long as
No,
it's stream appropriate, I mean, no
right?
reason not to.
Yeah, just think of the commentary. I should have made it a race. I should have gotten someone to learn it.
Oh my god.
Because I think the other person that runs it, they are international, and I don't think they'd be able to make it over the pace.
Yeah. I just
Yes, that's true, Econom.
my my brain's just having a hard time thinking about this.
About what? Hentai golf?
Yeah, just
I mean,
fascinating concept.
it is, but as I said, like I don't know.
I shouldn't be
It
surprised with how the Switch like eShop is or whatever.
well, I went through the Switch eShop today when I was hanging with Tyron during his stream, and I was just going through everything. The amount of games that just start off with hentai in the first place,
Hmm. Yeah,
and their
it's
recent
crazy.
releases. Yeah.
It's absurd. Why?
And, like,
This is the
half of them
Switch.
half of them are just, like, these shitty puzzle games that look like they're just using AI art anyway, and it's like,
Hmm.
"What the fuck?" And they're just, like, the same exact game, but just, like, reskinned, and it's I'm like, they're really just trying to sell hentai, and then, like, you know, you go on some of them, and it's, like, nudity, and it's like, "Why? Why is this a thing?" Like, those aren't the games I'm gonna buy, but then, like, people just expect it now from me. They're just like, "Oh, Philly, hentai." I'm like, the golf game has nothing to do with it, and you've watched it. You know it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just seen and heard the horror stories of the eShop. I don't visit very often. I'm too scared. I
It's
don't
a
want to
fun
go.
it's a fun thing to go through every now and then.
Yeah, there's so much garbage on it. So
Oh, yeah.
much. It's crazy what they
Like
allow on there.
like, I scrolled through probably, like, 30 plus games of, like, absolute dog shit and a combination of just, like, this, like, budget games all on sale for, like, 85% off, $2, and then I finally get to, like, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I'm like,
It took
I
us
feel
this
like they
long,
should
huh?
I feel like that should just, like their games, no matter what, like, I know it's gonna be under great sellers and, like, Nintendo featured, whatever, but I feel like they should still just, like, pin their games to the top of recent releases. Like, so if
Something like that.
someone was just scrolling through that, you don't have to go through, like, 30 games plus of, like, random hentai, random, like, mobile games.
Yeah. I just it blows my mind that this is like Nintendo's shopping thing and they've
Yeah.
always been so not about that. I don't know. Just wild to me.
Yeah. I do like golf. There was actually another golf game that I saw on the eShop today in the shit show of the recently added. It had nothing. It was like weird cartoon golf, but
Mm.
I was like, that looks interesting. There's something about golf games. I don't know. They are satisfying. If they've got good like clean sound effects, it's fun.
I don't mind some golf. Like mini golf games are usually pretty good. Um
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember playing like oh god, what was it? It was like mini putt on like mini clip or something like that. They would have like some games and it's like you could play them online with like friends.
Mm.
Fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Mini golf video games are really fucking fun.
Yeah, and then of course the classic like Wii Sports Golf, the most satisfying of them all.
I disagree.
Oh,
I
well,
can't.
the sound effects I like coming through the
Oh yeah,
Wiimote
the
and
sound
stuff.
effects are great. I can't stand the whole like I swing and that's like it's
No,
like
yeah,
you
that I
fucked up. I'm like
understand.
I barely did anything.
Currently, my remote doesn't even like work properly, so I can't do it if I want to. But when it works, like I think
Yeah.
it's at least satisfying. But yeah, I
You
understand the
know,
frustration aspect as well.
now I'm thinking about because me and my friend we would play Connect Golf at his place,
Mm,
and his older brother was like, "Oh man, I feel like this would feel better if I was using like like holding an actual like golf club." So he takes a golf club just to like be able to like feel the swing. And I think it was a fucking putter. So like doing like the actual golf swing with a putter for like a drive. Well, next thing you know, there's a hole in the ceiling because just the follow through. And we're like, dude, what do you think was gonna happen if you were gonna swing like the golf club like you actually would? This basement wasn't that high. So
yeah,
now,
that's
and I think the oh, man, at least like for 10 years, I don't know. I haven't been to their place in a few years now. But last time I was there, that hole was still in the ceiling and not patched. I'm just like, yeah, Connect Golf. Crazy.
yep. That's a certified Connect Golf moment up there.
Oh man, Connect was cool though. I wasn't an Xbox kid though, so I didn't really.
Hmm.
All my Xbox experiences were always at like other people's houses, and then I think the first console I bought that was not Nintendo was the PlayStation 3, solely because I was like, I don't want to pay for online.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, my first non-Nintendo console was the 360 when I was like 12 or something. And
Yeah.
yeah, it came with the Kinect. I remember not using like I thought it was cool, never used it.
That's understandable.
Yep, so that's my experience in that department. But yeah, since you were talking about like the Switch and it being really hard to like get yourself banned. The PS3 it's really hard to get yourself banned. I do that.
Really?
Yeah. Like their online services are still free and work, and
Oh, okay.
you can have it set up where, if it's, had some work done, it'll give you a warning if certain things are enabled, so that would get you banned online, and then you can turn them off, and then just
Oh,
yeah, it's a very
huh.
nice feature.
Yeah, no, that's solid.
Hmm.
I had like the chonky PS3. I don't know where it is
Yeah,
now.
I got one. Uh, it's the chonky one. But I got it imported from Japan like not even a year ago. It's the silver
Wow.
one. Yeah, it looks so nice.
Yeah, no, I very much enjoyed my time with the PS3. I didn't realize though when I had gotten the game or when I had gotten the console, this was literally right after like there was that huge hack scandal that like shut down PSN servers for
Mm.
like 3 months or whatever it was. And
Yeah.
I managed to get it right after everything. I was like,
Well,
"Oh, cool. Good."
yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Good
Thank you.
timing. All skill.
Yeah, no, like, the speedrunner in me. I was like, gotta wait for the most optimal time, buy it when the market's low because everyone's fed up with it.
Yeah, it works out. Yeah, I'm sure it was if you were buying like, secondhand, it would be a lot cheaper if they were going through a massive
Yeah,
thing.
was it eBay? I don't it was either eBay or Craigslist. I did buy secondhand.
Hmm. So yeah, you
And
probably
now
got a
I'll
decent deal. So.
yeah. And like I don't like is there anything like if a Switch 2 came out,
Mhm.
are you at a point now like with any Nintendo console where you'd be like, I need it launch?
Depends if there's a launch title I need to play. Other than
Okay.
that, like, nah. I don't
Okay.
I can't afford something like that right now
N- yeah, no,
unless
that's
it
fair.
was like important. So,
Yeah. No, for me, it's like I look at the Switch 2, like in the possibilities, and I'm just looking at how hard the Switch was to get at certain points, and then you look at the PS5 and like all those shortages they went through,
mhm.
and like as Jay is saying right there, like if it's a new 3D Mario
Yeah,
with
like,
my brand and what I've established, I feel like I would need to get the Switch 2 at launch,
mhm,
or else I'm already falling behind. So that's like I'd be worried just about getting a pre-order in on time and, like, all that stuff, and actually, like, making sure that they don't oversell. Like,
mhm,
I think my best experience I've ever had in the whole situation, like, with this whole console shortages and stuff, was with the PS5, because me and my friend one day were just, like, on Kohl's, of all places, like, we were just on the website, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, it's stocked, like, at this time," and we're like, should we just, like, say, "Fuck it"? And they're like, "Yeah, why not?" Because like, to us, it was almost like a game at that point, like, for how we just knew the bots were getting everything immediately anyway.
mhm.
So, we end up getting our order, and it's like, "Oh, shit, I got one." And it's like, "Oh, shit, I did too." And then we both got an email, like, a few hours later being like, "Hey, we oversold the stock, so, like, we're actually canceling your order." But the cool thing was they gave us our Kohl's cash still. And because, like, it was a console that we bought, it was like $150 of Kohl's cash that we just got to keep for free. So we
Well,
got
goddamn. Okay.
yeah, so I got myself a weighted blanket, I got my mom a weighted blanket, I did some, like, shopping for Christmas because it was, like, right before that season. I was like, "Wow, this is great." I was like, "I'm glad I went for it now because I just got a free, like, shopping spree at Kohl's for no reason other than trying to be a degen."
Well, it all works out.
Yeah, right? Really
But yeah,
does.
I've always well, at least the mindset I have now is I'm usually a generation behind
Mm,
because like n- when things launch, like there's not much to do with it yet. You gotta wait a while, and then you can wait for price drops and all that. And
yeah.
like even I think the PS5 right now, there's nothing on that, right? Like it's, I don't know.
No, there's really
There's
not.
no reason to own one unless you're like re- I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, like,
I don't even have a
yeah,
PS4.
originally, I used, because eventually I did end up getting one,
Mhm.
um, and originally, it just basically was like a Fortnite and Rocket League machine, and then I started playing Fortnite on PC because I got a better monitor, and I upgraded my PC. Me and my friend, worked on building one, and so I'm just sitting here like, "Hmm, well, PS5, I'll still use you for Rocket League, and that's it." Like, and like, I barely play Rocket League, so now it really does just collect dust, so,
Mhm.
um, it was a little anticlimactic. I still stand by, I think my favorite game for it, has been Astro's Playroom, but that's
Mhm.
because I just don't play many story games either. Not that many have been released. I'm sure the Spider-Man games are all great for it, um, but yeah, I don't know. It's
Mhm.
like I've enjoyed every story game I've played, but then when I think about playing story games, I'm just like, I don't really wanna commit that time to it. Like, I still wanna stream. I've been telling myself for probably, like, 8 years at this point to start doing some sort of YouTube stuff and still never have.
Yeah, I've been
But
doing the same, so don't worry.
I think that there's just a fear with YouTube and, like,
Mhm.
all that stuff, though,
Yeah,
because,
I
like,
don't wanna put in all this time for, like, no one to watch it, right? So
exactly.
mhm.
There's that. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to editing. So, like,
Yes.
even, like, a 1-minute intro will take me, like, 5 hours because I'll, like, be so nitpicky. And, obviously, I can't, like, hire an editor, I'm not at that point. Like, I've done that for, like, a couple videos, just like, "Hey, I can't." I think it was for, like, a hide and seek video. I was
Mhm.
like, "Tom, I cannot." go through 8 people's footage and put together. Can you just do this? Like, there's no shot.
Mhm.
Um, but, like, some other videos that I've worked on editing, yeah, it just takes me forever to actually, like, get it down, which is why I wanna start with shorts, I think. But, going back to the fear of YouTube, I think that part of me has always been like, "I could make it as a content creator, like, if I actually tried." And, obviously, like, we're streaming as speedrunners, like, that's a niche thing,
Mhm.
which helps us a bit, and then, like, obviously, we're both good at it, so that also helps. Um, but it feels like once I try the YouTube stuff, if that does not succeed, there's nothing else I could be like, "Oh, well, I could still succeed if I went to this and tried doing this." It's like, if that fails, it's like, well, that was it. That was my last ditch effort. Like,
Yeah, because you
to,
also,
like,
like, don't
try and
wanna
really grow.
change, what you're doing because you enjoy what
Yeah.
you're doing. You don't wanna change it just for the algorithm or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, that's I think for me, it's just figuring out what I wanna do with YouTube,
Mhm.
because I I like speedrunning. It's fun to me. Uh, I don't think I'd want a YouTube channel based on speedrunning though, because
Mm.
that part's not as that's not as much me. I just like doing runs just to do runs. It's something I can do while talking to chat. Like, chat interaction is probably the biggest thing to me. I've always preached that I'm more of an entertainer than a gamer.
Mhm.
And then, like, sure, I could probably be better at the games I play if I actually invested more time into them, but at the end of the day, it's like, whatever. Like, it's always funny when I get, like, those people that really fucking care about their runs, though, and, like, they'll come into my stream and be like, "Ooh, that's like a 20-second time loss," or, like, "You're on this pace in this kingdom," and I'm like, "I don't care." I just
Fair
wanna
enough.
do it. I just wanna finish the run just to finish the run. I
It's a
don't
good
fucking know.
mindset, honestly, so
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I struggle with it. Sometimes you are hungry for a PB and you're like, "Fuck this," like, super competitive. But, yeah, I try to tone it
me
back
all
a
the
bit.
time.
I love being competitive. Like,
Yeah, I
catch
mean,
me at an arcade, catch me like, I was a sports junkie growing up, loved playing sports, loved, watching sports. Still do. I yeah, I don't know. That's why I love Fortnite and why I love Rocket League. It's anything I can get those competitive juices flowing. Like, I was a huge COD kid, um, but I COD's not the same anymore, and that's fine. Like,
oh
it
god,
never
it
will.
fell off
It'll
so
it'll
hard.
Yeah, I mean, and, like, the thing is, it'll never feel the same to me. Like, I'll never be that age again where
Mhm.
I would just get home from high school, put on, like, punk rock, and just mindlessly go pub stomp. Like,
No,
that
I
era is
get it.
just not it's just not there for me anymore. And that's like, I don't know. I've come to accept that. Like, everyone that keeps hoping, like, "Oh, COD's gonna feel like it used to." It just won't. You're older, your life's changed, things are different. Like, I feel like it's less taxing when, like, obviously school is taxing, but you're going back from school, you hang with your friends at school, whatever, shooting the shit, do whatever extracurriculars, then you just go game. And now it's like, you get home, you have to worry about, like, what you're making for dinner, what you're like, you have to worry about, like, taxes and paychecks and bills and all that shit. And it's like, I don't know, it's in a way different place in life. So, people that always hope that the same feeling's gonna come back, it just won't because your life's changed. Like,
Yeah. I'll boot it up here and again because again, the PS3 networks are still free. So,
yeah, I
and that
can't
was the good
imagine how
era.
shitty
So,
hacked like, those lobbies have to be
oh,
borderline unplayable though, right?
never had a hacker, which is
What?
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Never.
Man, you're gonna make me wanna boot up Black Ops 2. That was my
I've
fucking
never
shit.
had a, I've never experienced a hacker in Black Ops 2 on the
Oh
PS3.
my
Never. I haven't played it that much, but like
man,
only
my
maybe a
first
few
lobby's gonna, like,
hours,
have
but
someone fucking in the sky, just
yeah,
like,
maybe. I'm just saying what I know, man. I haven't had that issue. I don't think the
oh,
people that
man.
still play to this day care about that anymore. If you're
That's
gonna
true
play it in
too.
modern day, it's gonna be because you wanna play it, not because ho ha 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 troll. There's not enough
Yeah.
people to like troll it in modern day.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah,
Man,
there's only like three full lobbies at a time anyway. It's not like not a lot going on.
is it always just team deathmatch?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I
Hmm.
used to play Kill Confirmed because I
Yeah.
always hated Like, I liked being rewarded for being, like, a run and gunner in those games because I like just equipping an SMG
I
and
see.
sprinting and not just sitting in a corner. Um, so I would do that, and then I would eventually start playing hardcore because I don't know, just something about that. I liked the aspect of no matter what gun we are using, if I hit you first, you lose. If you hit me first, I lose. None of this yours were a little stronger than mine, but I hit you first bullshit.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it was always stressful because like sometimes you'd have like the teammates that would kill you by accident.
Oh
So,
yeah, that was a factor too.
yeah, friendly fire was it was better when it was just like whatever it was, ricochet damage or something like that, where if you shot your teammate, then you would be the one getting damaged.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my friends always loved hardcore. I wasn't I didn't care for it myself,
It's
but
it's not for everyone. I didn't think it was for me, and then my friends just kept dragging me into it, and I was like, you know what? I love this. This is
that's
great.
fair. Um, I want to try to because we've just been on many topics. I want to try to
We have
get a
been.
stream.
Sorry, that's been
No,
my brain.
that is there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying like I usually try to get like a little history timeline and we just still haven't done that yet.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So going back to how we started in like 2017 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So how'd you get started?
So I want to say that this all goes back to college. So I'm gonna go back to like 2014,
Okay.
and I think college is probably when I started really watching Twitch a lot, and where I first would learn about speedrunning. Um, like real talk, college was probably one of the worst times of my life. I had an initial friend group that just kind of fell apart. AKA, I was the weakest link, and I got pushed out because one person just didn't like me in the group. So then I felt uncomfortable because they would actually make me uncomfortable, which led to me being isolated, not having really many friends, and I would just either like watch Pokemon or like nap or go to class, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
So college just became this huge funk, and Twitch was just like a happy place for me. Like I would just boot it up and I'd be like, oh man, at least like I feel like I belong here. Like these people are just messing around with the streamer and like I'd watch Fi-Fi and Ray's Fire play Sunshine, Fi-Fi play Luigi's Mansion, and then I was just like, this is something cool. I really like this. And then when I graduated college in 2017, I started doing like some streams directly from uh my PlayStation 4,
Mm.
and I couldn't really have alerts or anything because of not having a proper setup. So I would actually have a High School Musical microphone from from
Okay.
the Wii game. That was a USB mic. I would like plug it into the PlayStation and sit next to a laptop, and alerts would play if things happened, and the only way that audio would be picked up was from the speaker through that microphone.
Sure.
Yeah, right? I was very
You work with what you got.
yeah, yeah. So, as time went on, like I'd stream for a bit that May, and like it'd be some Madden, some Call of Duty, and then I just didn't really have any way to capture a GameCube or a Wii U. And then I watched Odyssey when that came out in October, and I just kept thinking to myself, man, that looks fun. Like I don't want to spoil the game completely for myself, but like it looks fun. And then like, like just over time, I think I did have that game ultimately spoiled for the most part because I wanted to keep watching it. And I'm just like, I really want to play this. So I look at my bank account, and as I said, I'm only doing like inconsistent freelance work. Was doing like production for the Philadelphia Phillies, which
Mm.
I know. Look at the username, isn't that crazy?
I guess it all makes sense.
So I would do that, and then I was like, I just want to buy a Switch and a capture card because as a graduation gift, like I got like a pre-built base PC. So I
Mm,
was like, okay, that'll be good enough, obviously, for like streaming. And in the past, when I would like do some COD videos, I already had like a Blue Yeti. Um, so yeah, I went and bought a Switch, and I bought Mario Odyssey, and I went back, and my mom was very not happy with me. She's like, "You're living here, and you just spent your money, and you don't need that right now. It's like, you know." I'm just like, you're not wrong, but I really wanted it, and like I technically could, so I just went for it. As I said, like, best investment of my life because I would start streaming Odyssey speedruns. I would do any percent. I would start to like uh, fall into that community a bit more. Did any percent for I want to say probably a couple years, or like a year and a half before I started like branching out to like different categories. Besides like the one-off like world peace or something like that. But then darker side, all moons, I made like this huge extravaganza in like 2018 or 2019. Just like, oh, first all moons run for 1,000 followers or whatever it may have been. Um, and yeah, so like Odyssey's always got that place in my heart. And as time just went on, I was like, okay, well, I kind of want to learn Sunshine because that was one of the first games I watched religiously. That's honestly probably my favorite 3D Mario, um, because of nostalgia. A lot of it. I
mm,
also like the movement in that game. I think it's very clean. But nostalgia based with the movement, I think it just edges out Odyssey. But like they're 1A, 1B. Like they both just serve different purposes.
mm,
Obviously, if you ask me which game was more well constructed, I'm gonna say Odyssey. I'm not stupid, but I just love Sunshine. Fucking love it. I don't
yeah.
know. So yeah. Then just as time would keep going on, um, I would fall into the Fall Guys realm, as you would
Mm,
know.
of course.
I was in August of 2020, I believe. I would play it off stream a lot with Dangers for Tippy, and we would enter some tournaments as the Red Raptors, and we did pretty well. And then I would also go on to like be in Twitch rivals with Fi-Fi's team. It was me, Fi-Fi, uh, Fiend, and Burr. We ended up winning Twitch rivals, which is cool.
Mm,
Sorry.
it's a big deal. I wasn't in it.
Wait, were you not in that rivals?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, I'm thinking of the Pooh Bear stuff, right?
Yeah,
Because you were in
you
those.
did win the one I was in. Yes, you did do
Yes.
that.
Okay. Okay. The duos tourney. Yeah.
But we never played with the way the
Okay.
bracket was set up. So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
the team you beat was what beat me. So
Okay. But you were an honorary Red Raptor at one point.
I was. That is true.
That's a fact. And was it because Dangerous overslept?
No, Tippy wasn't.
Oh, Tippy wasn't feeling
Yeah,
well. Okay. There was a different one where someone else stepped in because Dangerous was overslept his
I see. Well,
alarm. We had a few incidents with the Red Raptors, but we always prevail. um but yeah, so like, Fall Guys happened right around the time that I got partnered as well. So is kind of like a blessing and a curse. I don't know how I feel about that era because ultimately I look back fondly. There was success, but it's such an outlier now, like compared to everything. Because right before Fall Guys came out, 3D All Stars came out. And that was finally a good, accessible way for me to play Sunshine. And then I started averaging like more viewers than I ever have, like naturally without raids. And I was getting to the partner application with that alone. But then Fall Guys was like, "Hey, 20 here, 20 there." And I'm like, "Chance to win money, like
yeah.
that's I'm not going to turn that down like if I'm good at the game." Um but yeah, it's just like once the Fall Guys love wore off, I tried going back to Mario speedrunning, but I did notice that like viewership would plummet and that was hard on me mentally.
Yeah.
Uh And so there were definitely some waves of inconsistencies after the Fall Guys era, because like streaming is hard. Like streaming and
Hmm.
content creation, especially if you're passionate about it. Like people don't realize, like they'll just look at it and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you just sit down and you play video games and talk to people." But it can be taxing, especially when you put your face cam on, and like you're always trying to think about like how you're looking, your facial reactions, and like how like. There's a lot to it. You always have to think about, at least to some extent, what you say. Um, because I mean, I've learned so much through streaming, and it's something I'm very grateful for. Just having like such a diverse community, and just how much has changed in this world in general from when I started streaming to now has allowed me to like learn so much about people and like new things within the LGBTQIA plus and just everything. Like I feel like it's helped me grow way more appreciation and understanding, and just things that I am like really fucking grateful for, because I can just like go out and have this whole new perspective, right? And I
Mhm.
feel like it's just allowed me to be more open minded and more, like I guess you're more immersed in it. So
Mhm.
like you see it more, and like it's totally awesome. Like I always stand by the philosophy. I just want people to be themselves and like um live your life how you want to, as long as you're not intentionally hurting others. Like you do
That's been
you.
my philosophy, so yeah.
Yeah, because I always just said, like, "Don't hurt others," but then, like, I think someone mentioned to me in my stream before, they're like, "Oh, well, like, my, parents by coming out." I'm like, "Okay, that's
Oh,
on them."
yeah.
Like, so I was like, I'm gonna rephrase that to intentionally hurting others, because if someone wants to be hurt by you being yourself, that's a them issue. Like, you have
Yeah.
every right to just be you. Like, they can be shocked or, like, whatever, but they shouldn't reflect any hurt onto you, like it's your problem,
Mhm.
'cause that's a them thing that they just have to recognize and, like, get past. But, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm just always a fan of just be you, and it's, as I said, like, I've just witnessed and, been through so many changes, just as a person as well. Like, I was never super, like, closed-minded to anything, but just, like, experiencing it and, like, just seeing how much more, there is to the LGBTQIA+ has just really been an eye-opener, and so that's also helped, um, just me as a person grow. So, I
Yeah, I
think between
feel very
streaming.
similarly with
Yeah.
what I've learned through things, so yeah, I definitely get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess I just grew up in an area where it wasn't as common,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
for
yes.
people,
Me too, yeah.
so, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I like learning things about people, just other people's lives and stuff. I mean, why am I doing this, right? Like this is a
Yeah, true.
great way to like just hear other people's. Now I do it through speedrunning because I'm interested in that, but you get more
Yeah.
information out of it too. I mean, it's just cool to learn. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it really is, and, like, that's one of my favorite things about streaming, and, like, that's another reason why I started in the first place, because as much as I wanted to use speedrunning as a whole, like, segue into it,
Mhm.
uh, I wanted to get good enough at the games I play, but a huge driving force for me was thinking back to how I was in college and being like, Fi-Fi, Raise Fire, and whoever else I may have watched at that time, they were so helpful to me, and, like, they would never know, like, how much they actually helped me at that point in my life, in terms of, like, helping me just feel better, not think about shitty things that were going on, and I was like, if I start streaming, if I can at least affect one person's life like that, that's a huge win to me. Like, that's what I would personally love out of streaming. Like, just be able to change someone's day, whether like, every time I boot up stream, if I can make one person's day better each time, that's a win.
It's a great mentality, I think. So
Yeah.
and it's
I don't
funny
know
how
how.
things work out because the people you were watching, you can now like interact with and have.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's interesting, right? I think about that sometimes. Like,
yeah, especially, like, so Raise Fire, I haven't really talked to as much. I got to meet him at GDQ before. Um, but I remember the first time with Fi-Fi that him and I ever hung out, it was playing Fortnite, and I think he was just, like, playing with people, and he's like, "Yeah, you can join the VC," like, and I'm just sitting there like, this is scary. Like, I don't like, what if I just embarrass myself? But, like, we gamed and we did click, and I was like, "Alright, cool." And then we were in a one man, I wish I still had this clip somewhere. I don't know where it went, but we were in this, 1 by 1, and I revived him, and then then I we were facing another team in a 1 by 1, and I had an RPG, and I'm just like, "Oh, wait, I have an RPG," and then the second I go to launch it, I guess he was just over in front of me enough that it hit him, and I
Mm,
killed us both, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like,
unfortunate.
"It's over. I just ruined this connection I made." Oh my gosh.
A smart person would realize that that's just content. That's even better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but, see, that's not where my brain went. Not
Of
like,
course, yeah.
I'm sure his did, but mine was just straight up, "Oh my god, I blew it, I blew it, I blew it." Like,
Yeah.
I've idolized this dude, and now I just ruined the game.
Yeah. What's actually been nice about being in, an online space for so long is you kind of stop idolizing people and see them more as just the humans they are. And
Yeah.
I think that just helps a lot. Like, you should never idolize another person,
Yeah.
at
No,
least
I
not in an
agree. Like,
unhealthy way.
I think it's cool to idolize success that the person has
Yes,
had,
that's fair.
but not necessarily the person. Like, you can be like, "Oh, I like how this person, like, holds himself, and, like,
Mhm.
I kinda strive for being like that." And I think it's okay to, like, idolize to an extent, but
Yeah, just not
if
like.
you start getting, like, interpersonal with with the idolization, then it gets weird.
Mhm.
Like, I've always been very anti interpersonal relationships. Like, if people are like, "Oh, Philly," like, I'd say we're friends, and I'm like, "We have never talked once outside of stream. I appreciate you. I enjoy having you here, like, on stream. I like talking to you here, but I don't wanna say that, like, we're friends because that would be disingenuous." Like,
Yeah, it has to form naturally, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so, like, I don't know, and whenever people are like, "Oh, Phil, you're this amazing person," or, like, anything like that, and that's not, like, me to my own horn. I always just straight up say, "I'm just a dude on the internet that plays games." Like, I don't know. I
yeah.
like to try and stay humble. Like, I do recognize that I've had success at points, and, like, I've had my highs and my lows through content creation. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm just another dude. I just sit at my computer, I hit start stream, and I've been blessed to just have so many wonderful people. Like, community, like, the channel and the community wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for all the different personalities that uh come across and immerse themselves in my little corner of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, it all makes sense. And when you talk about like the Fall Guys era, I do kind of miss that era because I never used that era for like streaming stuff, but it was nice to like game with people. And after that stuff kind of died off, everyone just kind of moved on and did their own thing.
Yeah.
But I remember
That
like at least once a week there'd be something going on. And it wasn't always Fall Guys too, it was something.
Yeah, like, especially because Among Us was huge during that time too.
That was a no, that was a big one. Yeah.
So if you're not on a first name basis, friendship shouldn't be considered. I wanna say yes and no, because, like, for me, just with people online that
Mhm.
I would consider friends, we just call each other our screen names still.
Yeah,
Like,
like
it's
at GDQ, like yeah,
yeah, like
that's how it is.
yeah, like, I'll go up to Hex and be like, "Yo, what's up, Hex?" Like, I know his name's Theo, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah,
Hex is
it's
my
kind
boy.
of weird because like everyone there's gonna know you by your screen name, so it'd be weird to call someone anything but that in this like
Mhm.
public setting. So yeah,
Yeah.
I disagree specifically with that, but yeah, I know what the meaning behind that is, which is true.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to clarify.
Mhm.
But yeah, with the Fall Guys and era that you're talking about, I think the only thing that I started getting annoyed with Fall Guys was, so at one point, like, it seemed that it started when it was starting to, like, die down a bit. I noticed that the, it just felt like every tournament started involving, like, some level of drama,
Oh really?
and
Hmm.
yeah, like, just between. I set up this 100 plus wins in one stream, or I think it was 101 wins in one stream thing after Courage did his 100 wins in one stream. I was like, aha, I'm gonna go for 101 because content, why not? Um, and when I would schedule, like, because I was like, yeah, okay, I need squads. So like I would organize this together and I'd put people in blocks. I'd be like, hey, how do you feel about this? Here's this. And like some people would be like, can you move me to a different team because I don't get along with this person? And there was more of that than I expected.
Mm.
And I'm just like, oh. And they're like, yeah, tournament stuff. And I'm like, oh, did not know. Like, I am sorry
News to
that that,
me, yeah.
yeah, like, but then like I'd also clarify, I'm like, were they like, I was like, is this like tournament beef or are they actually a shitty person? Because like if they're actually a shitty person, just let me know because then I just wouldn't want to like
Yeah, that's
associate.
different.
Um, but it seemed like it's just a lot of tournament
Tournament beat.
toxicity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
never
like
saw any of that. So that's interesting. Hmm.
I think a lot of it was like behind the scenes,
Yeah,
like
probably.
people just like kind of like venting to their team and then it would just like get out.
All right.
No.
Well, I wasn't too into it. I was like in the small group of like speedrun streamers. Like
Yeah.
you know the Discord, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not aware of all of this.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's in any sort of like competitive community though, right? Like even
Yeah,
when
there's always gonna be something.
yeah, there's always gonna be some level of beef.
Yeah, that's what's nice about speedrunning is generally it's pretty low key.
Yeah.
There'll
So
be the thing here and there, but compared to
yeah.
most like competitive things, it's pretty good, which is
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, the thing is with speedrunning is obviously like there's the people that want the world records and in the sense it's like they're competing against like the other top runners. But for me, at least, I just look at mine. I'm like, I just want to be better than, or I just want to get a better time than I've ever had.
Hmm.
Like, it's cool to get those milestones, and like I can understand like wanting to push for world record and stuff like that. I don't have the time or the skill to do it, like, and that's fine. I
Yeah.
I have more than accepted that, but I can get damn good at each game that I play if I really want to. Um, and I'm just like, yeah, I just want my own better time. Like people will come in the stream and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna bop you." This is more popular, like probably back in the day, not as recently. But they'd be like, "Oh, Philly, I'm gonna bop you." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna like my time's this, and I keep improving." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool, good for you. Like, congrats. Like, I'm glad you're PBing." Yeah, but I'm gonna beat you on the leaderboard. So I'm like, I don't care. Like I run for me. Like if I have a friendly competition, it's usually like with a friend, like and like we're both around the same time. Like that's a little different. But if you're just like some random person coming into my stream being like, "Oh, I'm gonna bop you," like, I don't have to, good, congrats. I barely submit to SRC anymore just because of that. Like I don't know, leaderboards don't really matter to me as much, and I know there's some people that were always upset at me for doing that because I think this is when I was probably like top 100 or something. They were like, "But the archives and just like the history and the inaccuracies." I'm like, I don't know if I care that much about like if I was a top 10 runner, I could understand being mad if I was just like, "Oh, I refuse." But like, I don't know. Like at that time, like 95th, no one's gonna fucking care. like, come on.
Yeah, I personally like having my whole like running history somewhere. So
That's the
that's
cool part
my
of it,
drive.
and that's
Yeah.
I will say that's the one thing I do regret about not, like, submitting every run that or,
Hmm.
like, every PB, because I would probably like to see that, those jumps, and I can't, like, retroactively look at my splits because just over time with route changes and things like that, clear splits, clear history, clear, like, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
but, I mean, ultimately, I've come back to Odyssey. I'm almost at a, sob hour. My sob is now at a 1:00:07, I believe.
Mm. So
So,
that's like the sum of best being under an hour.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like, I'm really close to that. PB is now sub 102. I got a 101:51, which is really cool. Um,
Man.
so, I don't know. I've definitely been feeling motivated with that, but a little more background on me and speedrunning timeline, I guess, to go back to that because I love getting sidetracked.
No, that's
But
fine.
probably around like 2022 or like 2021, I'd say, is when I started getting more into like multi Mario stuff, uh,
Mm,
a little more heavily, like Galaxy One specifically. Um, So I would include that a little more in the repertoire when I got back to speedrunning after Fall Guys, um, and then Sunshine, and then Odyssey. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't really like a category that would just have those three. I think the closest would be the 1120, which was Odyssey, 880, um, 64, and Sunshine.
hmm,
But 64 hasn't always been in my repertoire, and there's always a running joke that I just hate that game, and I just kind of feed into it. Like I appreciate what the game has done. The only thing I genuinely don't like is that people like that will put it on a throne because it was so revolutionary. I can appreciate it and understand that it has done that, but just because a game was revolutionary does not mean it has aged well.
mm.
Like
I
I
love the
will never.
movement. I love running it.
That's fair, and like everyone's entitled to that opinion. Like I think it is a fun run.
Mhm.
I will never deny that. But it's kind of like Sunshine for me. I just like don't think it's the greatest casually. I think it's a great run, but I like wouldn't
Oh,
say the game is.
casually? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Casually
Well,
is a
that's I
different
mean,
thing.
that's yeah, that's true. I don't know. So, like, I usually will dock points from a game for that, and, like,
Mhm.
that's where Sunshine loses most of its points because for me, as I said, movement's fun. Blue coins in a speedrun sense, I actually think they're kind of fun, like, switch up the level when you go from, like, any percent to 120. It's not like you're just doing Galaxy where it's like you're just doing the levels the same way anyway. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah.
the blue coins are just, abysmal
Yeah.
casually.
The Sunshine speedrun is sick, but I am very vocally like I hate Sunshine. It's just not good.
That's fair.
But no, the
And
speedrun,
that as I
fucking
said, I get it.
awesome, dude. Go
Like,
off.
I get it.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, 64 has its casual issues. Like I hate the camera still. Like, oh my god. But I mean
and I
it's
don't
very
get why
primitive, so it's
I
whatever.
don't get why Nintendo went from 64 camera, which was bad, to Sunshine camera, which was actually smooth and, like, you could rotate to Galaxy camera, where we're going back to the shit where it's like, "Whoop, whoop, whoop." Like,
And well, it
no,
was
just go.
a little more linear, so
Yeah,
but
I guess, but, man, just give us the free cam. That's why and then Odyssey, they finally brought it back again, but,
yeah, but yeah, that was
um
3D again, so
wait, you're saying Galaxy is too linear for it?
I don't know, but I'm just saying like that game is linear, so that camera makes more sense now. Like in
Okay.
64, it's not that is open world, so it makes less sense. But
Okay, that's
I
fair.
think it,
I guess I don't really view it as much as linear, but I could definitely see it also. It is pretty
yeah,
just like
like it's a 3D
all of
game, but
this.
it's not open world like kind of Sunshine and 64 and Odyssey are,
Okay. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. So I'd start doing that and in preps for a 602. I made a big goal for that and managed to finally do one. Unfortunately, it wasn't like taking part during the event just because they were doing it on a weekend where I was unavailable. Um, but I hit my one goal of somehow managing a sub 24. I had
Someday.
yeah, I had a really bad 64. Sunshine was okay. Galaxy was meh. And then Galaxy 2, which I barely played and like only learned like 2 weeks before that run. I managed to clutch out a PB, which was like 11 hours and 15 minutes. Whatever it was, I clutched it out enough to get that sub day by like 8 minutes or something like that. It was crazy. It was coming down to the wire. I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh. I like this is gonna be rough. But Galaxy, like if I ever run it back, which I would like to do the summer one since that's the 10-year anniversary of the first 602 that was run by Chrism, I believe. Um, I would like to ultimately try and just get a better Galaxy 2 time by then because that one has the most time save and then better at 64. And 64, I already bought I bought a different controller for
Hmm.
because as I said, the GameCube controller and I just aren't friends, but I very much want to play it on the Wii VC because I don't like the Shindo version
Mhm.
on 3D All Stars.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like how different the run would be in like a 120 aspect because obviously, uh huge backward speed is patched.
Yeah,
Um but yeah,
it's it's not like the end of the world. The pole twirls are a little annoying,
oh,
I will say.
that's right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah, the
I knew
pole
there was
twirls get annoying.
something. That's what I was thinking of. Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just go does a full like
Woohoo!
pole dance spin on that
Yeah,
thing. It's
dude
crazy.
went to his classes. I respect it, but not for me.
No.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. Between that and just it being slower, I think load times or whatever, I, j- I don't know. Just feels better on the Wii VC. So
Mhm.
excited to get better with that, hopefully, and just I think my goal for a 602 would be to sub 230 it because my PB back when I actually did learn the game and was a little more consistent with practicing was a 225. And I feel like with the more people I feel comfortable with in like my circle now, I could probably get even more tips and tricks about how to get better. Um, I know Oddme is definitely down to help me practice that stuff too. And when it comes when it that's the other thing like with speedrunning too. Like I have grown that circle of like people to help me with these things. Like Oddme's really good help for any of the 602 games because that dude is just cracked beyond belief.
He's the goat, yeah.
And then with Odyssey, like I just hit up Tyron and I'm like, yo, help me with this. And not only is that dude incredible at the game, but he is a phenomenal teacher of the game.
Mm.
Like he can analyze things and be like, oh, you need to do this. And like, oh, it's this. And his knowledge and just his ability to like actually um teach that knowledge like to other people is just I don't know. Very very grateful that he is one of the heads of the community.
Mhm. Yeah, I should hope the record holder for however long knows what they're talking about, so that's good.
Well,
Love
that's
to
the
hear.
thing though. Like there's one thing to know what you're talking about, which I do believe all the record holders do know. Like, anyone that's top in their game knows what they're talking about. But it's one thing to know what you're talking about and another thing to be able to uh explain it and like be able to properly teach it to someone.
That is a different
And
skill, yeah.
yeah, because it's almost like teaching. Like you can have someone. I think in high school I had a physics teacher, but they had like a doctorate,
Mm.
so they would explain stuff to us, and we're all just like, I, "Does anyone understand this shit?" And it's like, dude, you are so smart, but you do not know how to dumb it down enough for us who are not at that level.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
it's
fair.
it's kind of like that skill. Like Tyron has the doctorate in it, but he also knows how to break it down in a way to someone who is in their undergrad.
That's a good comparison.
So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just very grateful for all the people and friends I've made throughout streaming. Like over time in general, like, just a lot of good people in my corner.
Mhm.
So and a lot of amazing people in the community that I've gotten to know and just try and do my best to give back whenever I can too because it's easy to be like, "Oh yeah, look at all these things that I've received," and like, but I always want to give back if I can.
Mhm.
I haven't done a charity stream in a while, but I think that's just because I'm trying to the market, man. the, the fucking market. You can relate as a fellow parents basement.
Basement dweller, yeah.
Yeah. Um
Living it up.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure at times you've probably like just perused like apartments or like condos or anything like that. And you're just like, how does anyone get there anymore?
I honestly don't have much of a reason to get my own place anyway. The
No,
thing I'm
the only
struggling with
thing
is like finding jobs and stuff. That's the search that's hard for me.
the job hunt is brutal. I've
Hmm.
been so I think in the past 13 months, I've been actively applying for some sort of like more marketing focused job because I currently am just like an operations associate at my current position, and I basically just quality check forms.
Mhm.
Do not get paid enough.
Mm.
At least like the benefits are good, but like the pay rate I am having right now is basically the same pay rate that I was having fresh out of college. So I'm just like, I feel like I have made no advancement. I'm not doing what I like.
Mhm.
And I think I've put out 200 plus job apps in
Wow.
the past 13 plus months. Cause like, you go through phases where you're just like, fuck this. End of year, no one's gonna be hiring anyway. So I'm just not gonna bother. Um, and zero interviews. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I've changed my resume. I've updated my resume. I've worked on cover letters. I've shown my resume to friends, had them edit it. Like, I don't get it anymore. Because the hardest thing is just getting to the interview step. And I don't know your success rate in that form, but just know you're not alone. The job hunt is a bitch right
Yeah,
now.
and I'm also not like doing it optimally or anything. I'm
All right, what are the strats? What are the strats? Why aren't you doing it optimally?
uh I mean, the big thing is the jobs I've had in the past I really have not enjoyed, and it's usually, just some like basic food job, and
Yeah.
it's hard to find things, in my area that I'm qualified for and I wouldn't want to end myself doing. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm,
It's a hard
okay.
balance. And
Yeah, so you're being picky about your job hunt.
oh,
Like,
very yeah.
yeah, no, that's fair, that's fair, like, it's a huge thing for me too, and, like, that's, I guess, the one blessing of, like, working this other job while job hunting, is that I feel that I can be way more picky in that sense of just, like, if I don't like a job, I don't need to get a job just to have a job. I've got that. Um,
Yeah.
and
I
then through my
I'm
search.
not in that position. So,
Oh.
yeah. That's the problem.
I see. I mean, hey, look, as long as you're not in a position where you're like crippling yourself in that sense, like you're not really.
Well,
Well, maybe we'll have a job workshop off. But for me, like I've been looking for a lot of marketing stuff lately, and then I think one day I just came across a community manager position, and I read the description. I'm like, holy shit, that is literally what I love doing. And like, that's like one of the aspects I love most about streaming. So I have like only been looking for that in the past like 2 or 3 months now. And I've updated my resume. Originally, it said broadcaster and content creator for like Twitch. But now I've changed it to community manager and content creator at YouTube and Twitch because I'm just like, whatever. Like, gotta do what I can do.
mhm.
Um, because I feel like at this point, resumes aren't even as much about telling the truth as they are putting in the right words to just
Yeah.
ping the bots, which is frustrating. Um, but I mean, my it's not like my resume is untruthful anyway, because like I am a community manager. I do manage my own, and I'm a moderator for other people. So in that sense, I am.
Mhm.
It's just maybe not uh the most direct experience I guess I'd look for, but 7 years of it still looks good. So here's hoping that whenever I'm able to, I can get a position like that that'll pay well and let me just be remote because I love that balance. I
Mhm.
don't know if you're
Yeah.
looking for like hybrid remote or
I'd love a remote, but I'm
yeah,
not. At this point, I'm not banking on that. So,
that's fair. What do you do?
what do
Like,
I
what
do?
would you want to
Nothing.
be doing?
Oh,
Well, no, no, like what? Well, I would hope that's not on your resume. Here's my resume. Nothing.
I've done things, but my
Like, what are
resume
you
is not
looking for?
blank. But
What are you
I,
looking for? Like, ideally.
well, the hard thing is I don't even really know,
Oh, okay.
right? So
Yeah. No, that's fair. Like, it is. It's like one of those like
I
one
just know
you
what I
know.
don't want to do. But
Valid.
yeah,
Valid. I worked cold calling once, uh, and never again. I That is the only job I have ever left before having another lined up because I just couldn't do it. It was way too much on me mentally, and the amount of times I was told to go, uh, off myself,
Huh?
because of hmm?
What? Sorry,
Yeah,
you threw me off there.
yeah, I mean, this is the cold calling life, right? The amount of times that, like, people like, you just call someone and they did not wanna hear from you, and then
Uh,
I'm like, "Oh, okay. I get it. I'm sorry." I think one time someone picked up when I was in, like, the middle of leaving a message, and they told me about how they were gonna come to our building, find me, find my manager. I was like, "Jesus Christ, dude, I don't wanna be here anymore." I'm
well,
just
yeah.
I think I responded, like, straight up. I was like, "Listen, I am just here for a paycheck. I am just here for a paycheck. That's fine. I will take you off our system. I'm just here for a paycheck." Like, I don't care.
Fair enough.
Please do not take this out on me. Um, but yeah, it just got to a point with that job. I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I just felt like I was harassing people. I didn't believe in the thing that we were trying to offer them. So it very morally conflicted. But
Yeah,
I just needed
I feel lucky
I need
about my past job experience now.
Yeah, never do cold calling.
No,
Never
I
do.
wasn't planning on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. I mean, you mentioned food industry though, and
Oh
I've heard
god.
that's rough.
Yeah, I already have bad anxiety. That did not help because they
Mm-mm.
just want to stress you out. It's like,
Oh yeah. Wait, was this like food services and like restaurant stuff?
yeah, they're well, I had a restaurant job and that was fine, but like the fast food industry, do not work there.
Mm,
Bad
yeah,
idea. If
yeah.
you want
I
to have a brain.
I had a really bad like this is just a good segue. This goes back to the pandemic. It's like fast food stuff.
Mhm.
I had a really bad addiction to fast food
Ooh.
during the pandemic. Because for me, it was just like, "Oh, I'm getting out of the house." So, like, I would just go to, like, McDonald's, which was, like, 5 minutes away from me, and I wasn't even, like, happy that I would, but it was, like, such a comfort food for me at that point because obviously a lot of like, most people were just mentally going through it during the pandemic.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not how we're supposed to operate or anything, um, and that would just be where I went, and the amount of weight and stuff that I put on, like, money that I spent on fast food was not good. And it got to a point where I think I went to Taco Bell and I was like, "Man, I really don't wanna be here." But, like, I couldn't stop myself. I was like, "Man, this is like an addiction."
Mm.
And they fucked up my order. And I was so pissed that they fucked up my order that I'm like, I didn't even wanna be here. I did not. Like, no." So, since that day, I haven't had fast food, and now it's been, like, a year and a half.
Jeez.
So, I'm proud of that at least, like
Thank God Taco Bell fucked up your order.
right? Right? Like, I was already at that point, but, like, that was the breaking point. Like, them fucking that up, I was like, "No." Eh like, I don't shame on people for, having fast food. I totally get it. There's a reason I had an addiction.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
yeah.
convenient, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's convenient, it's good, they load it up with salt, whatever, but, yeah, it's just not the same to me, and I'm sure one day I will have fast food again in some capacity, but just never the same way that I was having it, like, 4 or 5 times a week at least during the it was bad, so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is this is gonna sound so sad 'cause I mean, it just, like, lines up with the timing, but, yeah, like, like, when there's, like, that big news, it's like, "Oh, where were you when this happened?" Or, like, when this so, like,
Mhm.
whenever I drive past this McDonald's, I literally always sit there and just think, "I was there when Kobe died." Like, I was in that
Oh,
parking lot.
okay.
Yeah, like, I don't know why that one really stuck with me. That exact instance is the one that stuck with me the most because like that was huge news as like a sports fan, and
Yeah.
like I just remember I was scrolling on Twitter and just instantly refresh, boom, TMZ and like every news outlet. I'm like, whoa, like that's wild. And so like I don't know why that's like the instance and like that moment like really is just like ingrained in my head. It's a weird one, but
Yeah,
so am I.
it
Like
happens. Brains are weird, man.
they are. Like have you ever driven past like any billboard or anything and then every time you see that billboard you just like think of like some sort of conversation you were having at that moment? Like it's just like a weird association thing.
Uh, and with that specifically, I don't think so. But I
Yeah, neither am I.
understand
It's
that
crazy.
no,
You know.
no, but I understand what you mean. If it was if it's something else maybe, but a billboard, I don't really
That was just my throw it out example. Like
no,
I
yeah.
guess a different one for me is like sometimes in Odyssey, like I'll be at like some part of a kingdom and I'll think about like a conversation that we had like at that point when I was at that kingdom like a year ago. Like for
Yeah,
some reason
sure.
I'll just be like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
So,
I know what that is.
okay.
So
Okay. I'm glad you know what it is.
yes, I know, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we
The
all have had
association.
something. Yeah.
Something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I
Recollection.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's yeah, I don't know. Life is weird. Brains are weird.
Yeah,
But speedrunning is fun.
it is.
Stressful, but fun.
Yeah, that's how I'd put it. That's for sure.
How about you on your end? Like
Ooh.
what's been any specific grind going hard?
I have been lazy as hell, so
Yeah,
I
that's
need to fix that.
yeah, I mean, I think we all need those times in our life where we do just kind of like sit there and just absorb the the laziness, if you will. But we all need to recharge our batteries. But as long as you get yourself out of it before it's too late, I'd say.
This has been one hell of a recharge.
Oh no. Okay, maybe we do need all right, maybe it's time to snap out of it. I mean, at least you're doing this though. Like this is productive for
the
what you're doing.
this has been consistent. I have not stopped this.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that every week. It was funny before you reached out to me. I kept like seeing. I think I saw like the hex and then spike, and I'm like, I hope I can do that one day. And then you reached out to me. I was like, yo, let's go.
It's funny how things work out.
Right? It's kind of just like I mentally sent you that link. I was like, yo, Ace, ask Philly.
Ah, so that's how I got that idea.
Yeah, of course,
Okay. I
obviously.
was wondering how. Because I wouldn't have reached out in any other way.
Yeah, no, no, no.
Of
I mean,
course.
who am I? Like,
Who?
I'm just Philly.
Omega lol? No.
Who mega lol? We've never spoken once, so I
Ever.
just.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
Oh,
trying to get back to that timeline side of things.
yeah,
I think we've almost reached modern day, but I don't know where the last left off. I remember 602 talk and
six
then
oh yeah 602 talk. So I did the 602 summer of 2023. So yeah, pretty close to modern day.
yep.
Um, and then yeah, I just I wanted to do a little more Odyssey after that. But my yeah, my timeline's just kind of weird and foggy from that point. I feel
Mm,
because last year was a really really big focus for me in um mental and physical health growth. Just because towards the end of 2022, I went through some personal shit to where I took the final 3 months away from content creation, uh, and just like was getting help however I could,
mm-hmm.
and then uh came back in 2023. I was like, I don't care about numbers this year. I don't care about any of this. I just want to make sure that I am at least doing it if I want to, and just kind of go from there. So a lot of that year is kind of like a blur in the sense of like consistent content that I was putting out. The 602
Yeah.
is like the big event, And then obviously I had my Talk 2 run at Pace fall, and then submitted for well, you should come over here. Submitted for GDQ and got Bluey in. And yeah, so I mean that was really fun too. And there he is. See, I told you that we'd have a visitor. Sorry, this is why I get
Yes, there
so
we go.
distracted in life. I am a golden retriever.
Huge. We love the dog cameos.
Yeah, we absolutely do. But yeah, so going back to it before I get too sidetracked, it was just a big year of mental health growth. Um, and yeah, I think it mainly consisted of Odyssey.
Yeah.
At one point, I went through a phase of like only doing Talkatoo, to try and get better at that for the pace. Um, and then towards the end of the year, I was like, I want to start getting ready to do any percent again.
Mm.
And then earlier this year is when I finally broke the 102, or broke into the 101 realm.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And now, while my SOB has been going really down, my PB has been really stagnant at 101.51. So it'll eventually all be put together. Um, but as I said, I'm also like looking at this like I want that next PB, but I also really need to get started on the other the actual 602 games so that
Yeah.
I can hit my goal for that. But then I'm just like, man, that Odyssey PB is right there. It's right there, like so close. And then just something always happens.
Yeah.
Something always happens that just happens to be like a 30-second time loss. And I'm like, fuck. Like it would have been okay if it just wasn't a 30-second time loss. But that's what happens when you start implementing harder strats, right? Consistency just needs to build up with them.
Yeah.
But when you get them, ooh, that's a nice gold. Philly is good at 30-second time loss. Yeah, thanks. Let's go.
Yeah, you got to be good at something, right?
That's why I now have hentai golf as see, I'm good at that. There you go. Bringing it back. Um
We've come full circle to this unfortunate topic now.
but I don't want to glance over the like as I said, the biggest thing in my timeline I think now is the GDQ speedrun
Hmm.
with Bluey, because I think that was the first, well, it wasn't my first on stage event, but it was my first on stage event that like had a larger crowd of people, like in terms of viewership online and uh in person. It was
That
it
was
was
your
a really
first
big,
GDQ run, right?
that was my first GDQ run, yes.
That's huge.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I was really nervous getting ready for that. I had Delilah and Spike on my couch. Spike had never seen the show before, so that was fun because he had like no idea what was going on.
I've never seen it either, so.
It's a good show. I always recommend it. Like, even though like I'm 28 going on 29, but like it's just a cute show. Like I don't know, it's got good morals, like, for all ages in that sense, and, like, they do have adult humor in there. Like, I don't know. They really hit the good balance with that show, in my opinion, at least. I started watching it when I was in my last relationship because she was Australian, so
Mm.
kind of she was like, "Oh, yeah, you should check this out," and then it was up my alley. Um, but so when I heard there was a Bluey video game, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm in." And then I started speedrunning it, and I'm like, wow, this is like 80% cutscenes. Hmm. And then I'm like, fuck it, it'd be fun at GDQ. So then I submitted it as like a late submission because it came out during that window.
Hmm.
And I was like, all right, here we are. And a big thing that we noticed during the run was they say hooray a lot. Like we were trying to think of like, oh man, like what happens? And originally there was this one line that got edited out where Bandit would like be like, "Come on, Squirts, like let's meet Uncle Rad in the backyard," and he would just say that on loop for like 30 seconds as you're navigating across a room, but
Huh.
they patched that out. So I was like, okay, well that's gone. And then yeah, we just counted all the hoorays and we're like, hmm, I think Delilah was the one who's like, we have to make that the thing. And then we did. We jumped on that train, went with hooray being the thing, and it was honestly surreal to see that that lingered on throughout the entire event. Like from
Hmm.
that point on, it was really cool to be like, wow, I had one GDQ run ever, and it made a huge impact on just the whole week.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Every GDQ has like a meme phrase or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, last HDQ it was the yes chef.
Yes,
And
chef.
yeah, this was hooray.
Yeah.
That was
Right.
you. You did it.
That was me.
You did it.
But I mean, I always say, like, and this is just like my mentality. I'm always like, it wasn't me. It was my friends and like everyone on the back couch and everyone in chat. But like, obviously, I know that like it's easier just to be
Yes.
like, oh yeah,
It was everyone, but
yeah, it was
your name
everyone.
is associated the most with the run.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's just
I
the
like this is
facts of
where
the
this is
matter.
where I'm bad at like taking credit for anything. I'm just always like, no.
No, I can't take credit. How dare you?
Everyone's gonna think I'm a jackass if I take credit.
Yeah.
um But I'm thinking that for the next GDQ, I think a fun run would, because I mean, now I feel like I'm just a memer at this point. But
I don't know.
first off, I want a second Bluey video game to be made. But for this next GDQ later this month, that Princess Peach game comes out.
Yeah.
I don't know how competitive it will be. I mean, it is a Mario title, so I'm expecting there to be a little more, a few more people playing that than Bluey. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I want to be hopeful for that game though. Like, I want that game to at least be decent, and then maybe be a little bit of a fun run. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Uh, I remember the Blu-ray run because I did commentary for the run that was right after it.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we heard all the hoorays while we were setting up. It's like, what is going on over there?
Oh my gosh. And then yeah, all the donation hoorays. Like there were already a shit ton during the run itself, but just us doing the hoorays for every single run, or for every single donation afterwards. I'm glad, because I was thinking the same thing, I think when I was doing my prep, about how I could like hear things that were going on, and like so every now and then like you'd hear like, oh, this donation, you hear like all the claps, and you're just like, what happened? What?
Yeah.
But because of the raise, it's also like more just direct because everyone in sync, boom, is hearing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It-
no, I mean now it's become iconic for just me in general too. Like, I got a new stream background, and Bingo, one of the characters in it, is one of the star constellations that I have. So
hmm.
I'm just, I don't know, definitely, it's ingrained in me now. Like it's part of, it's a very big character portion to me now. So it's cool.
Hooray.
It's really hooray.
Hooray.
Yeah, so I don't know. Here's hoping that in the future I can get into another GDQ as a run, like as a runner, I should say.
Hmm.
I told myself that going into it, I was like, I just hope to put on a good show, and I think it's safe to say that that was accomplished.
I'd say, yeah.
That's that, yeah. So I don't know. I at least got my name out there a bit more, and they all know me a little better now. So
As the
it's
hooray
cool.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, wait, Philly submitted the hooray guy.
The
Is he
hooray
cooking
guy.
up some? Is he cooking up something else? But yeah,
Um,
so like if there's ever a Bluey 2 video game, I have a feeling that there might be a few more runners trying to get it in because of that success that it had on the first one. But I'm just gonna hope that be like, come on, we rocked it the first time. Just run it back, baby. Just run it back. We don't need another runner for it. Come on, just run it back.
yeah, I wonder how many kids watch that run
Oh,
because
I'm sure quite a few did. Like a lot of those donations that were coming in were from parents saying they were
I
watching with their
see.
kids. I think I had someone come into my stream recently, and they're like, "Hey, figured I'd stop in. My kid has watched your Bluey GDQ run every day, like every morning." And I'm like, "Oh, that is so
Oh,
awesome."
it's funny thinking about kids watching speedrunning.
Right?
I don't. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, cause yeah, we weren't really doing that when we were growing up,
Yeah, no.
but, now it's, like, way more accessible,
Hmm.
and, like, the other cool thing is with, like, Bluey specifically, apparently it was on the Xbox Game Pass, I think last month
Mm,
in,
interesting.
February, so people started picking it up more. There were some people that would, excuse me, jump in the Discord and, like, start asking questions about it. I'm like, "That's cool." Like, people have seen that run, or they saw, Juho's run from, I think, a Scene on TV, which was, like, a week after GDQ. Um, yeah, so it's cool just seeing, like, any influence that you'd be like, "I was probably part of that influence," like, helped guide. Because once again, that's how we all got started, most likely. We got influenced by someone else that we saw,
Mhm.
and, it does all go full circle at some point, hopefully.
Hmm. So it keeps bringing in more people.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe I would have helped some people, like, get Odyssey or, like, things like that. I don't know, like, I've been told weirder things, like,
Hmm.
I think someone ended up buying Hentai Golf because of me because they wanted to start running it. Clubhouse Games, when that came out,
Mm.
I, I saw that eye roll.
Yeah.
Clubhouse Games, when that came out, I think there were, like, at least a few people that had told me that they ended up getting it because of me. But then also, I've been on the bad end of it where I saw someone play something like Mario Tennis Aces, and I bought it and played it for, like, maybe an hour, and I was like, "Wow, they make it look way more fun than it
Yeah, I get it.
is." With Clubhouse Games, I just always told people, like, "Oh, should I get it? It looks so fun." I'm like, "Only get it if you're playing it with friends. If you don't have friends that play it, it's not worth it."
Mm.
But, yeah, I don't know. It's I love content and content creation. Fun. It's just, like, all the different games that we've come across, all the different people we've come across. It's so
It
cool.
it has been fun
Yeah,
and cool.
yeah, and
Um,
now you get to see my brain, and just as I said, like, you started going with, like, a timeline kind of thing, and I feel like we're done.
hey, um, how do I want to put this? Tangents run this show.
Yeah?
So,
Okay, well, I hope that's the case because I know I just rant, and then it's like, "Oh, that brings up this thing. Oh, that brings up that thing," and that's like, then I have to backtrack to be like, "How'd I get here? How did we get there? Where did we start?"
yeah, I mean, I try my best to have some sort of timeline of events, but that's like all I'm going off of. Everything else is just, say whatever you want, man. I don't know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't treat this as like a Q and A. It's just a
Yeah,
talk about you. So, and
yeah.
I think that's why this has been so interesting, and I don't know if successful is the right word, but
I would say it's
people
successful. I
enjoy
mean,
it. So, and I think
yeah,
that's part of it, right? It's not
and
like how did you get into it? Answer. Okay, uh game, I don't know, like
yeah.
I don't know. It's
No,
more
I feel like if you
casual in
just do
that way.
that, if you, like, limited tangents and things like that, like, sure, can I do an interview style, like, like, professional, I guess, more, like, job interview style? Of course. Obviously, like, I can do that, but I feel like you're
Yeah.
not getting the full story of the person if it's
Hmm.
just like, question, give me the answer, like, as straight on to the question as you can. Cool, next question.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
tangents
no
and me
professional, so this is all I know.
I mean, tangents and me going off onto, like, whatever topic is literally just on brand for me. That's how
Hey,
I've always
well,
been, and I unapologetically myself. So, like, I know that sometimes
based.
it can I know sometimes it can be a little, distracting, and, uh, so we get off topic, but that's just what you get. I don't know.
Hey, again, it works out.
Yeah,
And that
it
just
does.
means more content.
Yeah, exactly, and, like, that's the thing. The amount of times I've almost said things, and then I'm like, "Wait, think," I think there was one tweet that I was replying to, and this goes back to, like, the whole speedrunning thing and, like, it being a competition against myself.
Mm.
I was at the gym and, like, I'll always say, like, gym brain as a thing, like, just because, like, working out less, like, like, I'm not thinking as much as I am just, like, being there, like, I was replying to a tweet about, like, speedrunning. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like, I like to speedrun because, I think it's really cool, to just, like, improve at something." So, like, yeah, I don't view speedrun this was the draft that I typed out. I was like, "I don't view speedrunning as, like, a full-on competition against others. I primarily do speedrunning to beat myself." And I was like, delete, 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 delete. I do speedrunning to be the best version of myself because I was like, I do not do speedrunning for as lewdly as people are going to take that statement.
As a hentai golf speedrunner, not the best look.
Well, I was trying to think of like the worst things I could probably say, like with hentai speedrunning, like the hentai golf speedrunning. I was like, I feel like like one of the worst things I could say is like if someone asked me about it, it's like, oh yeah, I've come a long way. But like people are
Well,
gonna be like, huh? You've what? Like, yeah, right? I don't know, but once again, this is just where my mind goes. Like, because I think about like what are the worst things I could say, and then sometimes I'm like, do I ever want to like cave into that one day and just like on stream and be like, "I'll bait chat." It absolutely will, and it'll be funny. So I don't know.
would be fun.
Sometimes I say things intentionally that I've been thinking about in my head because I'm like, that'll be fucking funny when
The
I do it.
bluey runner, everybody.
Look, everyone said I give off major dad energy, all right? So
Mm, I see.
I thought you said I was like, okay.
I was just like, It wasn't like, no, it was like oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it now. I missed it. Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Whew.
quickly
Anyway,
changing the
yeah.
subject.
Yeah, the Bluey Runner that just went off on another tangent because of talking about tangents.
Yeah.
See?
Well, speaking of innuendo, I guess I remember this specific clip from that run though of like one because it's a children's show and one of the characters said something that just made the couch lose their minds.
Yep. Yep. It's when Muffin says, "Dad, I'm bustin'."
What does that mean in this context?
So in Australia, it is
Okay.
very common to say that you're busting, like, when you really have to go to the bathroom. Like
Oh,
your bladder is about to explode, like, "I'm
okay.
busting, like, I have to pee."
I've
Um,
never heard this. So
yeah, no, so,
this
like,
is
it's a legitimate thing, and because, like, the people who write Bluey, and obviously Bluey is an Australian show, like, they're gonna use common expressions for themselves. And
mhm.
bustin' is a very common term for that,
Okay.
like, over there. Um, so so in that context, it absolutely made sense, but for us who are not Australian and do not refer to that word for having to go to the bathroom, it is the funniest fucking thing. And Spike's reaction just made it absolute like, 100% more worth it because yeah, like, he never really watched the run before being on the couch. We did, like, a quick walkthrough, but there was no audio,
Mhm.
so he couldn't hear anything. Um, so when he first heard that and, like, also the Chattermax toy for the first time, it
Oh,
just gave it a whole new meaning to it. It's
I'll
great.
have to rewatch this.
Yeah.
I missed out on some stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth the rewatch. I mean, I'm totally biased when I say that, but
Of
it
course,
it's
but
a fun watch. Um, and I think I specifically stopped them from reading a donation right before the bustin' part because I was like, "No." I was like, "I hate to decline a donation. I just need us to get through this part, though. I can't have this be interrupted, and then you can read as many as you want, but I need Spike to hear this." And it got clipped and everything, so it was great. Um Is a pretty popular clip on GDQ. It made me happy. I was like, good. Spike deserves that moment.
Wonder how the children reacted. They
They're
they
just
probably
like,
don't know.
why is this
Or
dude
more
laughing so hard?
specifically, the parents. I wonder how they reacted, I guess. That's
Well,
what I
see, that's
mean.
the thing, and like that kind of goes back to this. Like, obviously, that's not what the Rares are going for, but you have the kids just being like, why the heck are they laughing? And then you have like the parents probably like, oh my god, did they just say that? Like,
It's just
I don't
gotta
know.
be an awkward moment, only for the people that know.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But it's so
it's
funny.
so fucking funny. This is why I'm praying for a second game. I need it. I need it. Like I need air.
Comedy gold mine.
It really is. Really is.
Honestly, is there how much speed running is there in that game? You said it was like mostly cutscenes, right?
Oh yeah, it's mostly cutscenes. It's probably I just always like rough estimate it and say like it's 80% cutscenes. I mean, it's not much movement, which is honestly really good for like a showcase event like GDQ or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, we get donations read, we get to interact, we get to just have our own conversations. Like it felt like watching an episode of Bluey with like 10,000 people. Like it
Okay.
was cool. So
I guess that is a unique experience.
yeah, and so that emote that Ekronon and Wolf used earlier, that's Bingo, so one of the characters from Bluey, and just as an ode to the whole um Bustin moment. we, we named the emote Philly Bustin, but in this context, it's her
Busting
busting a move.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, busting a
I,
move,
I
exactly.
understand.
So it's like if you know, but if you don't, it's not lewd. Come on, it's just dancing. I'm old school. Break it down. Busting a
Well,
move.
technically, in all the contexts, it wasn't lewd. Your brain just goes to it because it's messed up.
That's true. You're right. You're right. It was never lewd, except for our brains. We are the problem.
We are the problem. It is true.
But being the problem makes it so fucking funny. So I'm okay with being the problem.
It was funny. So the run after yours was Mario 2, like the vegetable game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I always make the joke that because the final boss you kill him by throwing vegetables into his mouth. So I was just like, remember kids, vegetables are deadly.
Oh no.
But so I said that, and then they're like, come on, it's just after Bluey. The kids are still watching. I'm just like, oh no. So, it made for that funny moment too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, all the parents were so mad at you. Like, no.
I was hoping they stopped watching by then. No, I wasn't even thinking it.
Man, if one kid took that to dinner that night, I would really laugh. That'd be funny. Just being like, "No, they'll kill me."
It's a Mario game. Be mad at Nintendo. I didn't do anything. It's their
True.
subliminal messaging. I was just calling attention to it, but that's not my fault.
Yeah, you're just dealing with what is given to you. I respect it.
Exactly.
I respect it.
But yeah, it was funny. And again, that only happened. That was only funny because Bluey was right before it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah. I do remember in my run, which was, the last day, um, in the game you get fireworks. I'm pretty sure people would shout hooray for every firework in the background. I don't remember too much, but I think that happened.
There were a lot of hoorays on the last day, especially
So
like during the
lots of
countdown too.
oh yeah, every time it hit a countdown of the timer, it was followed
Yeah.
by a crowd hooray.
Yeah.
So
It was a fun time.
it it
The
it
countdown to
was the meme.
2.5.
It was the meme of the event
Yeah, no, it's good.
for sure.
That being there for that too, I was just like, wow, wow, we did this. That's crazy. Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It was nice to see it raise so much money again too. Like 2.5
Right?
million is wow. We are so back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, like I didn't have, like, the greatest experience at AGDQ 2020, and, like, I never thought I'd go back to another event,
Mm,
but then when they accepted my run, I'm like, "I'm not like, I submitted this for a reason." But then this event, I felt more comfortable, like, hanging out with people
mhm,
and, like, actually, like, uh, just I don't know. I feel like the first time was more so it kinda felt like the college me, where I was more, uh, closed off and just, like, very intrusive. And then the second time was more just like the streamer me, and I'd actually hang out with people and do more things. And like I'd take some time to like go back to my room and like just recharge quickly. But then I would just be more social and definitely a game changer. And
mhm.
to anyone listening to this, if you've never been to a Games Done Quick event, um, if you do go, don't be afraid to like go up and say hi to people that you've been watching. Like just like obviously there's like the limits, don't be weird about it, but like it's okay to go up and say hi to people and just like, I don't know, introduce yourself, maybe get a selfie if they're okay with it.
And
I
especially
don't
if
know.
you're a speedrunner, go to one. Just
Yeah,
you have to know. You gotta
yeah,
know the experience.
it's a great event.
Yeah.
I'm expecting this next one to probably have more sales, uh, more people registering to go than the than the winter one.
Yeah. This is gonna be hard because it's pace and then like 3 weeks later it's GDQ.
That part is hard. I already requested all my PTO. Uh,
There you go.
I was smart enough to think about the GDQ week and realizing that it was on the same week as July 4th.
Mm,
And because July 4th is on a Thursday, that Friday is going to be a hot fucking commodity to get off for people just give themselves a 4-day weekend. Um,
yeah.
but I managed to get that ahead of time, and I was like, "Thank fuck I thought about that," because otherwise I would have probably had to work from the hotel room, which I've had to do before.
Ooh.
Um, I did it at Pace Fall. I could only get 2 of the days off. Um, yeah, that was not a fun time. Because
Yeah.
like, you're like, "Oh, I'm at this event," but, like, I'm working in my room alone for till, like, 3, but then I get to go out and or I guess 4, and then it's like but then I get to go out and hang with people, so
Yeah. Kind of a trade-off. I hate when people have to work at the events. I don't know.
yeah.
I've seen it
It's
before.
it's hard. Yeah. Like, so well, and that's the thing, like, some people would, like, be working in, like, the practice room or something, and I'm just like, I
Okay,
work
that's
with
weird.
well, I mean, I get it, depending on, like, what you do. Like, if I was a community manager, I could definitely do that, but
Okay, yeah.
I work at a financial firm, and I deal with people's, like, accounts and
Mm,
social
yeah,
security
yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
so, no. I am very closed off, no one is seeing this information besides me.
Yeah.
Like
That makes sense. I just
yeah, I'm
don't
not just
think
gonna
I
be
could
lounging in a practice room with so many people.
I just don't think I could work in an environment like that, so loud and I get distracted way too easily. I couldn't work in an
That too,
environment like that.
that too. Yeah, I would probably need, like, earbuds in, like, with noise cancellation, and at that point, it's like, just go to your room.
Yeah, just go to your room. Yeah.
Pace Summer is gonna have so many people,
Oh my god.
and I am beyond excited. Like, for
Yeah,
how many, like, Odyssey runners are going too, the LTA was just announced, like, holy.
yeah, my group of gamers will be there, so
Hell yeah. It's
it will it will be large.
it's gonna be large, and I managed to once again get in the Best Western. Last time I switched from the one hotel over to the Best Western,
Mhm.
and it was the best decision I made.
Well,
So I will
the
not
bestie westie as we call it.
yeah, the Bestie Westie.
That's the
I
hotel
wanted to make
now.
sure that I called it at least the Best Western so people would know what we're
Yeah.
talking about. But yes, Bestie Westie is better than other hotel. I won't
Other
publicly
hotel.
slander. I'll just call it other hotel. Um,
But that's the hotel the pace block was for now. Like they ditched the other one.
oh, I know.
It's
Oh, I
great.
know.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I am in the pace block for the Bestie Westie, and even if I somehow
Huge.
missed the pace block, I would have paid more to stay at the Bestie Westie.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
my
everyone's
roommates. I was kind of invited later, and I still don't know if they ever got one. I think by the time they went to get one, they sold out of them or something. So
No.
I don't know what my situation is. I should probably
Oh,
look into that. But
you
I got
probably should.
I got like 3 months, right?
I mean, technically speaking, yes. For your own sake speaking, I'd say maybe check in sooner than later.
Yeah, that's fair. But
For absolute necessity's sake, though, yes, you have a few months.
there's some time.
This
And
could be your first event. Let's go.
yeah, I've been to so many events, but yeah, there's nothing quite like the first one. Although, like what you were saying earlier, um, so I went to 3GDQs pre-pandemic, and I was super like, I didn't do any, I did next to nothing, and then like post-pandemic, I was like, okay, and now they're super bangers.
Yeah,
So,
right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was about, like, the pandemic. I maybe the pandemic just brought out a lot of, like, being forced to be introverted sucks because like, you can't even
mhm,
act on your extrovert, like, urges that you get. But, yeah, no, like, just afterwards, I'm like, "Wow,
yeah,
I really wanna be, like, a little more outgoing."
mine
And maybe
was
it's
social anxiety meds. So
that
you
too.
do what you got to do.
Well, I'm starting to think that, like, maybe in a sense of, um, in, like, school where
Mhm.
it's like, "Oh, here's your summer reading list," and, like, "Oh, I've read that book before," but then, like, if you have to read it, you hate it because 'cause you're like, "I hate that you're making me do this." And
Sure. I've
maybe
never
that's
had a
kinda, like, where
summer
a lot.
reading, but
Oh, okay. So, basically, it's just, like, there was a list of books, and it's like, "Oh, you have to read these," and then, like, reports are due by, like, your first week of classes. And I'm like, "Great."
well, that
Um,
sucks.
yeah. So,
Summer
I
homework?
almost feel
Ugh.
like that's kinda like what the pandemic did. It's like you're forced to be introverted, and at a certain point, I'm just like, "Well, that sucks. I kinda hate this." And then whether or not I learned that, more about myself, that I just prefer being more extroverted, um, I I'm unsure, but, like, definitely something changed during the pandemic a bit, and just, like, with my, mentality after being, like, forced to be in all the time.
Mhm.
So,
The pandemic
and,
was
like,
great for self-discovery.
it
Mhm.
was, and, like, it was also great for just, like, streaming too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna decline or deny that. I'm a pandemic partner. I don't
Pandemic partner.
I don't think I ever would have gotten it, if it wasn't for the world shutting down, and obviously I'd rather not be a partner and the pandemic never happened. I want that to be clear.
Of
However, it
course.
did happen. It's a thing. So I just try to look for whatever positives I can. I got to meet a lot of people like online because of it. A lot of people I consider friends that I don't think our paths would have quite crossed if it didn't happen. So,
Mhm.
um, I just think trying to find any positive out of any shitty situations at least a way to go.
Yeah, that is very fair.
Yeah.
Definitely helped me out in some ways, so
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, I heard a lot of us, but I do think as you mentioned, self-discovery is a big thing.
mhm,
Um, like, I think that's when I started, like, looking into, my depression a bit more and then
mhm.
realizing, "Oh, that's a real issue." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like, that's not just like a, "Oh, I'm sad, I hate work." This is like a, "I'm not working, and I still am very like this."
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yep,
Hmm,
I
it's not
get it,
good.
that's for sure.
Yeah, so
Um, but yeah, I think I'm out of, like, questions.
yeah, no, that's
Um,
understandable.
uh, you could talk about, like, future plans and stuff.
Ooh,
Going
so future.
We did past, present, now we can do future, right?
Oh, okay, alright. Finishing off our, oh man, what is it? What's the movie? Oh, Christmas Carol arc. There we go,
Oh,
right?
I see.
So, for future of Philly,
Hmm,
the near future is definitely more Odyssey any percent, as well as trying to learn the 602 games better, getting more consistently below sub 6 again with Galaxy. Galaxy 2, I would like to probably get to a sub 10 if possible. Um, and then 64 more consistently sub 230s. And then just on the side, I want to start getting into YouTube Shorts at least. Um, Start learning better editing for that, and then hopefully post something like every other day or every third day, whether it's speedrunning content or just something along those lines, or just like content I want to make. Because as much as I said earlier in this podcast that I would like to do uh different types of content on YouTube that's not speedrunning related, I do think being good at speedruns is very good for short form content. And I don't know how often like you've come across like YouTube shorts or TikToks of like a speedrunner doing something and you're just like, yeah, okay, like I do this all the time.
Hmm.
And then you open the comments and it's all these people that are like, "Holy shit, how the fuck do you do that? That's crazy. Like, oh my god, you're so good." And I'm just like, how often do we really think about that to the average person, we are really fucking good at these games,
Mhm.
but we constantly surround ourselves with like the tyrants and like the cosmics, the elites of like all these games where you don't really think about it. You're just like, yeah, okay, like of course I do this. Like, why wouldn't I?
Hmm.
But to the average person, it's like it's actually it's impressive as fuck, and like it's things that they would never have seen or like have thought about. So I don't know. That's like the mentality I try and give myself, like to motivate to do like these shorts, because I'll see someone do something. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'd do that in my all moons run, like whatever. And then you see the comments and you're like, right, that's not normal. Like,
Yeah, it's funny because I tried a short once and it was like the coolest thing I've ever done, and it
yeah.
no one cared about that short.
Oh,
It got like
well, shorts are
500 views, which is nothing for a short. Let's just call
yeah.
it what it is. Shorts usually do pretty damn well.
Shorts are hard. Like it does have to catch the right thing.
Yeah.
And like I'm not sure if YouTube works the same and like TikTok works the same. That's like they'll reward consistency.
Mm,
Um
I see.
so I definitely want to like look into algorithm stuff and then kind of just hopefully create some good short form content, and then ideally long term with YouTube, I do need to start creating some form of long form content.
Hmm.
And I just need to figure out exactly what I want to do with that. Because if it's not speedrunning related, like what is it? Is it hypotheticals? Is it kind of like it's not necessarily like MatPat, but like is it some sort of like theorizing to, or like making up some scenario like for Mario? Um, I have a couple ideas in my mind, like, oh, what if like Mario XYZ, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and it's like, well, do I want to try and make scripts based off that? Uh, so ultimately, it's a lot of brainstorming and just kind of figuring out what I want to do before I fully pursue, and then hopefully can find success on that. And whether or not that drives more success to the Twitch channel would be wait to be seen. But honestly, even if it doesn't, I'm really grateful for like just the community that I have on Twitch. And I'm kind of at the point where if my Twitch community stayed the same and like let's say it just like grew a little bit more, but like YouTube like blew up for some reason, but that didn't translate to Twitch, I would be more than happy with that, because I don't want a chat that has 10,000 people constantly going, and it's like, how am I supposed to build any sort of connection with, like, anyone anymore?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
I
the
always
sweet
tell
spot's
my
like low triple digits if you're like popular, right? That's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
good
like,
sweet spot.
I think, like, 300 to 500, because usually
Hmm.
you'll have enough, like, lurkers, but you'll also have your core still chatting,
Yes.
and if I were to ever, like, for some reason blow up to some sort of, like, large scale, which I don't see happening, but if it did happen, because like, we all dream.
Yeah. We all have
Um,
hypotheticals going through our mind. Yeah.
yeah. Like if that ever did happen, I feel like even in my own Discord, I would create like a role that I would assign to people called like OGs. And it
I
would just
see.
be
Yeah.
like, look, there's a lot of people just flooding the general Discord. I would just like want my own like y'all were here before any of this. This is
Yeah,
our
I get
comfort
it.
spot. Like that's overwhelming sometimes.
I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's definitely a hypothetical I do think about sometimes. I I'm also like, as I said, so like March 9th, next Saturday, when we're recording this. Um, that's when I turn 29. And
Mhm.
I think about how I like Game Grumps and like Danny Sex Bang and like Ninja Sex Party. And I just sit here like, there's the one song he does, and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't like find my stride till like 29." And so after that, it's kind of like the YouTube thing I was talking about earlier. I was like, after that, now I'm gonna be like, I'd start thinking, "Oh fuck, I can't look at that and be like, oh, had late success starting at 29." Now it's like, who found their success at 35? Anyone need to find you? I need motivation, please.
Yeah, it's hard, but yeah.
Yeah,
When'd you say your birthday was again?
March 9th. So
You share the same birthday as my brother.
really,
Yeah,
yeah, let's go.
he turns 21 coming up, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's a
that's the
fun
big
one.
one.
That's a fun one. I turned
Wait until you're
21.
45. There's the strat. That's the midlife
No.
crisis arc right there.
Man, I'll be pumping out YouTube videos
Hey, you
like
never
no
know, right?
other. Please, like, comment, subscribe. I'm dying.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, what I've learned today is we're like very similar with a lot of things, like
Yeah,
the
no, that's
parents' basement and all that. But
the
yeah,
dog tail.
I've been in yeah, I've been in a similar like kind of space where I love like if I could like full time just do what I've been doing, like I'd be happy with my life. But obviously,
Yeah,
it doesn't really work out that way. But and I've been trying to just think of what to do, and yeah, I'm
yeah.
stuck too. I mean, it's hard, right?
Yeah, and it's scary to take that step. Like,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, it's such like a simple concept. Like, when you break it down, it's like, okay, just like think of a video, work on it, create a script if you need to, edit, put it out, and then just like kind of do that again. Like, like I feel like I have so many ideas, but then I just get like shell shocked,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think a lot of it when I talk to like therapists and stuff like that is just fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
hate the thought of
definitely.
failing. So,
My fear,
um,
my fear is that I've thought I've been living that like the past like few years, I guess.
mhm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Not to become a therapy session, but yeah, like
Hi,
I'll
welcome
I'll
to episode
I'll
2
save
of the
it.
podcast. This is the more therapeutic side of
I'll
things.
save it for my own therapist, but yeah, like I mean, it makes it hard. It
Yeah.
really
No,
does. It's weird because I have so many connections with successful YouTube creators that I could talk to at any moment that would like help me. Like, here, this is what you should do. And even with all of that, I can't like get myself to do it. It's truly hard when
well, hey,
you're not sure.
maybe we could be accountability pals.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, hey, that
Define what you
that
mean here.
no, like, accountability isn't like, "Hey, I wanna start up," like, if I'm like, "I wanna start uploading, like, 3 shorts a week." If, like,
I
that's
see.
similar
Okay.
with, like, your goals,
Okay.
that's
I
like,
see.
we both, like, strive to do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like not to sound really depressing, but, like, I feel like with things like this, it's like, if I let myself down, I'm used to doing that, but it also doesn't impact others. But if there's, like, someone else that I'd be letting
Mm.
down, that impacts me a little bit more, you know? Because
That's
like,
yeah.
life we let ourselves down, like, it happens. We come short of our goals at times,
Oh
and
yeah.
and and
Oh,
sometimes we get a little numb to that feeling, and it's fine.
I see.
Um, but, you know, like, obviously, you don't always wanna let yourself down, but you don't really think about it as much. You're like, "Ah, man, yeah, who am I really impacting if I don't keep pursuing that?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just me, and I say that in the most, like, I do love myself, uh, as everyone should love themselves, not in an egotistical way.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, I just always think that having like that person that has similar goals, it's kind of like some people that struggle to work out,
Hmm.
like they'll have a gym partner
Yeah,
to
yeah.
help get them through, and like be like, "Yo, we're going to the gym." It's like, "All right, let's go." Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like with certain aspects it's needed, and then hopefully at some point it's like we would each just get our own wings and be able to
Hmm.
not depend on that. But you never know. Just anything to start off. So.
Yeah. I know the big thing is consistency. Like, I've been doing
Hmm.
this once a week and I've been able to maintain that through the whole thing of just like I can't miss a week.
Yeah.
I care enough. It's hard to I don't know why sorry, it's been so hard to like keep that going for anything else though. But I know that's like the biggest thing to keep you like like what you said, a good example is the whole gym thing. If you're doing it consistently, you're probably going to keep doing it. But if you go like 3 times and then give up, like it's
Yeah.
you're going to get consistently not doing it, and that consistency is going to take over instead. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
It's
mean,
weird.
that's what's damning about vacations, like, you take a week, and now whenever I go on any sort of vacation, I look up if there's a local Planet Fitness because like,
Mm,
I have the Black Pass, so I can go to any one for this reason, or I just look up if the hotel I'm staying at has a gym. Anything, because if I go, like, a full week without it, I know the second I get home, I'm gonna be like, "That was nice." I love working out, but it's nice not working out too.
yeah.
So I have to do something to at least, like, keep that routine. They say it takes 21 days to build a habit. Um, so, like, I've definitely been going long enough now that, like, at least during work days, I just usually go during my lunch break, so I'm at least usually hitting the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and that's been a good balance for me. Um, but I think the thing that's hard with YouTube is not shorts related, like, for long form content. Just being like, "Oh, yeah, I wanna get" like, for consistency's sake, let's say you wanna try and get a video out every week. Well, every video is gonna be different. Every editing process is gonna be different. Every recording process is gonna be different. There's no guarantee that you'd be able to hit realistically, like with everything else you're bouncing in your life trying to do your other shit, that you can just hit that timeline each time without sacrificing like your sanity and sleep.
Hmm.
So I don't know. That's definitely like a factor. It's just inconsistent. You can't just sit down and be like, it's not like a workout session where I go and I'm like, all right, I know every single time I go to this gym, it's gonna be an hour to an hour and a half. Boom. Like there it is. Like, it's gonna be, well, am I gonna start getting really perfectionist over this? Is the intro to this gonna take me, like, 3 hours because I wanna keep adding things that I think are funny, and then no one's gonna appreciate it anyway? Like, but only I think it's funny?
Hmm.
So, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
that's why, like, the dream is to be able to hire an editor one day. But realistically, I'm just not there yet. But I
Hmm.
feel like that would make my life way easier because editing is just daunting in the terms of like I try to do too much, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's hard to like develop a style. And for me, a hard part is like listening to yourself talk back, and it's like because you're your harshest critic, and if you already hate
Hmm.
like how you sound, it's like, oh, this I'm gonna be here forever.
Fortunately, I got over that back in college because I
Hmm.
would do a sports radio talk show
Oh,
and
cool.
in our headphones, and I used to have it, but until the fucking audio jack broke, um, I need to get that fixed. But you could hear yourself all the time, like, in your headphones, the second you talk, you're
Oh,
hearing
like the
everything.
GDQ headsets.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly,
Okay, yeah.
exactly like GDQ. So, I'm hearing myself as I'm talking anyway, so I just got really used to my own voice, and I'm like, "Okay, this is just it, like, that's fine." And once you hear it enough, you're okay with it, but it's just weird because you hear it, in between your
Hmm.
like, you hear it inside, and then when you hear it outside, you're like, "Oh, that's how I actually sound to other people."
Yeah,
And obviously, as you said, we are our own harshest
yeah.
critics. Like,
Of
we're
course.
gonna think that sounds bad, but it only sounds bad because it sounds different to what we think it is.
Yes. And yeah,
So
that's always been weird.
yeah. So I don't know. I've had enough people tell me that they enjoy listening to my voice to know that it's good enough. It's fine. Got
And good enough is
I've
all
also
that matters.
yeah, no, I've gotten the face and voice for radio comment many times. I'm like, perfect. That's all I need.
Thank God they said face. Well, face for radio. I don't know if that's a good compliment.
Oh, it's not. No. It's just them messing around. Don't worry.
Okay, I see. I wasn't sure if that was a joke or you meant it, so I'm glad I got the
Nah.
context. I
No, it's
was
like
like, wait a second.
if people have a voice and like you're trying to mess with someone and like tell them they have a bad voice. It's like, "Oh yeah, you've got a perfect voice for the newspaper." Like,
Ah, yes. And then there's the opposite. I see.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, no, I mean, I I used to be way more harsh on myself in terms of like mentality and like how I viewed myself physically and stuff like that. But since going back to the gym consistently, I've definitely been like, "Yeah, fuck it." Like, definitely feel more confident in just how I hold myself. So,
I definitely need to embrace the fuck it mentality.
yeah, no, I mean, it helps. I mean,
I
like,
kind of did that with speed running a little bit, although now it's to the
yeah.
point where I did it too much and now I've like not done it enough. But
I mean, I think it also just depends for me, like the scenario. I think you have to know like when to say "I'll fuck it" and when not to.
mm,
Because like if I'm out in public, I'm not going to be going around talking about how I play hentai golf, right?
well,
And
okay, yeah, I don't know. Why.
but online, I like I'm just surrounded by like these people like that I enjoy, and I know that they'll just like understand it as a joke. Like, who the fuck cares? Like, what are they gonna do? Think that like let's say they're like, "Oh man, this Philly guy, he must like watch hentai in his free time or something like that." I don't. If you want to think that, you can, but I know I don't. And like, even if
Mm,
I did, people are allowed to have hobbies, like whatever, you know.
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like when it's kind of like back in the day, growing up, when people would try to like insult you by like, I was a theater kid. I did theater and I did all the things in music in high school, and like people would be like, "Oh, you're gay," and I'm like, "I'm not. I'm just comfortable enough with my own sexuality." But like, even if I was gay, who the fuck cares? Like, so,
Based, yeah.
okay, yeah, like who cares? Does that affect you? No. Like, so, like, I don't know, like, that's just kind of, I think that upbringing and, like, doing a lot of music departments and, like, just, like, having to deal with people associating me, like, sexually one way or the other just really helped build a lot of that character of just being like, "I don't care," like,
Yeah. Insults
if you
like that
wanna
have always been so stupid.
Oh, yeah, no, because
They're the
exactly, like,
dumbest
it's like,
thing.
that's not an insult, like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
who the fuck cares?
insults
Yeah.
with the air
Yeah, no,
quotes in
I know
there.
what you
Yeah.
meant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's people thinking that they're insulting you. And, like, if you say it to someone who's very insecure about themselves, yeah, they will take it as an insult
Mm,
and they will take it personally. But that's how I can always tell, like, who's comfortable enough in their own sexuality and who's not. Like, because you can be straight and, like, absolutely act like I don't know, like, you can just act like like, the people that, like, are grinding up, like, against, like, their friends that are girls and, like, people are like, "Oh, that's weird." I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Oh, because, like, why are they putting their ass against her like that?" And it's like, "Because they're just having fun." Like, "Yeah, but, like, I don't know, it's kind of, like, suggestive of the other," and I'm like, "Why is it that?" Like, it's not. They're just having fucking fun. Why is this bothering you? You could just walk away, you know? Like like, who the fuck cares?
th- this tangent went really off
Right?
the rails, man.
Yeah, we're off the rails. We're talking about grinding at the club now. But no, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to go
Where are
tangent.
those rails?
They don't exist with me.
I
I
see.
play monkey ball in expert mode or whatever.
Ah, there
No
are
rails.
rails in that game? Well,
On
maybe.
expert, they remove some of them.
Well, yeah. I'm trying
But
to.
yeah,
I think I thought the game just
moral of this
had
whole story
any.
is moral of this whole story is be comfortable with who you are. You are who you are, and that's okay. Be unapologetically yourself.
That is
And
very based.
yeah, and like if people try to insult you or like think that they're insulting you by saying one way or another, n- let them think what they want. Ultimately, you know who you are, and them having that thought of you isn't gonna be the damning to you, like whatever, because you'll see them, you won't see them again, and you'll just be doing your own thing.
Well, thanks for watching our therapy show, everybody. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, see, look, it's good old therapy. It teaches you a lot about yourself. I would
Yeah,
recommend for everyone that can afford it.
it is helpful. I can't deny that. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I got on that. Um, because I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. I can only give my recommendations.
Damn right. Damn right.
Well, I don't know anything over you that we didn't cover. I think we touched all the bases pretty well, but
I think we did. I think we did.
okay.
If anything else comes up, I can always just come back for a second episode because apparently I can just go on tangents for hours.
Yeah, well, my show's kind of a one and done situation, so this is your only chance.
Oh shit.
No.
Uh, to future Philly, um, when you watch this back, I know this conversation went a few different ways at different times, but like you fucking crushed it, King.
Oh, perfect.
No, but thank you so much for having me. This was a fun time, and I'm being serious about that accountability thing.
Yeah.
That's a serious offer
Uh,
because I need to get my ass in gear. I have my one friend tell me all the time that like they're like, you have such great ideas, but I don't trust you when it comes to follow through. And I'm like, I don't blame you. I
that's
don't trust
me.
myself.
That's
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I was like, I don't blame myself for I don't blame you for thinking that because I don't trust myself either with that. So I
Yeah.
think it could.
I'll have to. I mean, life's a bit
Oh,
weird right now, but I'll
I'm all
have to.
sweaty now. Look at that. That's crazy.
Okay.
Sorry, I just noticed that in the camera. I was like, oh, hi.
uh. I lost my train of thought.
Accountability. Go back to the accountability. That's what
Oh,
you're talking about.
I was like, oh, yeah, life is weird right now, so I don't know what my plans with anything are, but I mean,
That's fair.
yeah,
But you don't trust
I
yourself on
want
following
to.
through.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just
Valid.
don't know what I will have time for coming up, but yes, I would like to get my ass in gear for sure because
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I want to do and I'm just not doing. So
Yeah. Well, even if you
we'll figure
can.
it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you can't, just anything. Well, DMs are always open
Yeah.
because I do feel that we have many similar uh train of
Surprising
thoughts.
amount.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
I can't say I'd be ever interested in the hentai golf, but everyone's
We
got to have
all
their differences.
yeah, we everyone has to have their differences and everyone has to have some bad opinions. So it's cool.
All right. Well, fair enough, I guess.
Don't knock until you try it. No, but no.
Holy shit! Is that
Holy
whoa? What's happening to
wait,
your
what's
camera?
happening?
Yeah,
Huh? I don't know. That's only in Discord.
that's crazy. Here,
Oh
let
man,
me.
let me fix. Man,
Here,
that looks like
I'll
a
turn.
yapping gif.
Whoa! I turned it off because. Whoa! It's getting so weird.
Is it only on your end?
I don't want to. Like, I can still see it in Discord, but yeah,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's going
yeah,
insane.
because it's not here. Let me just.
That was crazy.
Did that
Okay,
fix
yeah,
it?
yeah.
That's so weird.
Um,
Because
I
it
was
was
gonna,
normal on my end.
I was freaking out because when you said "don't knock till you try it," someone in chat said it at the same time, so there's like no way you
Oh.
said it. It was like a perfect tie, but then I got distracted by the oddest fucking camera glitch I've ever seen. So much happened at once. My brain couldn't process all the information.
That camera glitch is basically how my brain works. So it felt very fitting.
That was crazy. I've never seen that before.
I don't
Well,
know.
anyway, um, feel free to self promote however you'd like.
For anyone who managed to stick through all of this and listen to me go on multiple different tangents, if you enjoy those tangents, make sure to check me out twitch.tv/Phillie, Phillie. I also have YouTube Phillie and then main at the end because finding me on YouTube's like impossible because my name isn't very algorithm friendly because of the Philadelphia Phillies. And then on Twitter or X, I'm at Phillie TV. So if you ever want to check that out, feel free. It's a fun time, vibes. I usually do Odyssey speedrunning or other 3D Mario speedruns on there. And then outside of that, we have our fun, you know. It's a good time. So
And those links are on stream in the YouTube description. Whoa.
hell yeah. Yeah, I saw them
Whoa.
there. That's actually where I was like reading. I was like, what do I promote? And I was like, perfect. I have my list of
I,
things to promote.
I do my homework. I get the layout ready. No, I'm a professional.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I very much do. And thank you again to GTH for having me.
Yeah.
This is super fun and it's a great time.
Yep.
It's always cool to talk about speedrunning and whatever else comes.
And the many other topics that come with
This
it.
has to have been the episode that bounced all over the place the most, right?
Uh, Honestly, I don't know anymore. I mean,
Okay. I was
it,
gonna say Hex might be up there.
uh, I couldn't tell you. I've had so many of these. It's hard to keep track of which have gone off the rails and which haven't. So, you know, that's the whole point, right? It's just a
That is.
conversation. Who cares where it goes?
Yeah, as long as nothing bad is said.
True. Anyway, yeah, that'll do it, I guess. So thanks for watching. You know, check out all the links, follow all the links, all of them, every single one,
All.
all of them. Yeah, new episodes every week. That's really it. I'm never great at outros, so. But yeah, good. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.